for a long time. And when she came back, she had to deal because of the harsh climate with some skin sensitivity and problems like that. So what had happened was that she had to ask her friends in foreign countries to get some products like organic, which are like certified organic and really good, where hypoallergic, they are really good to your skin, and but they're super expensive and super rare to source it because you have to wait for someone to come from abroad and get that thing. And that was something. And when she got the product, that is when she was sharing it to others, and her grandmother said the ingredients that it is, and we grow it here locally. It's there in the garden. Go find it. So that's somewhere she was like, it's right here in the garden, and we are paying, like in dollars and all that pounds to export it or get it via friends, and that in a very small quantity. You can't do it like you can use it for 2 to 3 months. Then you have to wait for it again. And there's a lot of people with skin sensitivity that they are willing to spend a little more to get a good quality product. That's when she was like, it's growing here and it has much more phytonutrients, which is like better for our skin and for something that sensitivity comes where we are really afraid to try new products. So in something which is certified organic, you know that there will be no reactions and it will be good to your skin. So that's something her story was to start and to begin with. How I align myself with this product or with this enterprise is the fact that uh, though I understand that this is a common story with every Ladakhi, that how we have been brought up. That's something even currently the family follows, that every family household will use a life buoy, though we don't understand the pH level of the life buoy, how if it's harming our skin because it takes away all the moisture and everything. And then the next point is using Vaseline. I remember as a kid, I used to wash my face and with a normal Lifebuoy soap or even a rinse soap. I remember, like, for the worst case scenario, mothers still do it. And you put what you put on your skin is a Vaseline lotion, anything, cream, moisturizer. It was never there. But we understand the fact that how same person living in the plains and living in Ladakh, same age, same even twins, you say, the person living in Ladakh ages much faster because of the UV. That I've seen with my parents, with my parents, elder sister, and everything. How we have stayed outside. My father was in army. We kept moving. So we stayed. Whenever she comes back, I've seen my mother's colleague who are of same age, they were in school together, went to chill party together, and they have aged so much. And they say, you haven't changed a bit. And this happens, and she doesn't do anything extra. That's a basic routine, but she's very, very selective of what she uses, and also the weather it affects. Here, so I strongly feel that how even the products that are being made in Ladakh, with all due respect to like be it your Seabuckthorn oil, face oils, and everything, people in Ladakh, I don't know how many are using those lip balms here. They're still using maybe Nivea, something like other products. They are not actually, they have not accepted the products in Ladakh as a product that you should use in your daily lifestyle. We are still using the products which are sourced from outside, which are still chemically, the base is chemical, and the products that are being built or made here in Ladakh are seen as a souvenir. That's all. So so what we believe, or I strongly wanted to get into it, is that getting those products that we make earlier, to into a mainstream where you use it on a daily basis and you don't feel different about using them, and at the same time you get better benefits from it. That's how I align with it. That's something I wanted to see, to people to understand that the change that you see in your body is not a short term, that you apply a chemical or something. For long term, your skin ages in a certain way that it's irreversible. Suddenly you cannot go like, Array, I'm turning old, or there are wrinkles. It's a very slow process, and to get that process, it has to become a part of your lifestyle. So that's something how we try to do it.
So then you relate it to the solution that you want. Is it cosmetics as a solution or pharmacy as a solution?
So we are still trying to explore that. Right now, it is just limited to the fact that um,
Using native products.
native
Native,
products is
native
something
oil
exactly,
and native
and
crystal.
understanding, and also we don't want to scale at such a level that we are not able to control the quality of it. So like the example like we discussed and we thought of is that something, if there's a shop there in Delhi, like a chole bhature, they only serve for 2 hours. They do not plan to, but they have maintained that consistency that people from all over India come to that particular place to eat that particular thing, even if it's open for 2 hours only.
Yeah.
So that's their mindset, and we do believe that business is about scaling and everything. We do want to scale, but not to a level where it affects our vision and mission and affects the quality of the product. That's how we stand about it.
Very nice. Very nice. Both the stories of your this one as well as yours. So from that, if you are able to originate and relate to the enterprise solution that you're trying to bring in, it will really make a lot of sense for everybody. Yeah.
But this question is important to understand.
Yes.
Are you looking at skin care, cosmetics, or is it pharmaceutical in that sense, medicinal?
Yes.
So positioning will be
Mhm.
easier.
Right. So, how we started right now, we do want to start with the skincare, but at the same time, we do not want to restrict. Right now, Dashkit, she has started experimenting with plant dyes because after you use the plants for the during the apothecary, during distillation, I think getting all the properties, what we are also able to understand that so that the waste material doesn't go, go to dustbin. So we are able to reuse it into making plant dyes or like a pattern. So put it on fabric, cotton, and again like using those natural dyeing process, the same which was like a byproduct of the medicine, we're getting into a print. So that is also
I'm coming to the other idea you have said of regulation, right?
yes, ma'am.
So if you have to get FSSAI or any of such
Understood.
marks, you have to categorize yourselves.
Exactly.
Some thinking, isn't it, KG?
Yes,
Has
yes.
to go in whether which category you would belong to.
So that is why we also wanted like help with the technical expertise of what kind of certifications and what should we, because we are also in that starting stage, we are able to be flexible and hear you out that this is what you can explore, then we'll be able to get in that line.
So there is one insight here.
Yes.
World always looks at very simple solutions. Why do they look at simple solutions? Because you should understand the nature of investment money. Investment money comes with a returns expectation of 18 to 20%, 25% standard. Do you understand that? 18 to 25%. That means I give you 100 rupees, you should give me back 100 rupees in
Oh, yeah.
in 3 to 4 years time. That means I give you 100 rupees, you have to give me back 200 rupees in 3 to 4 years time. This is the current investment world. Do you understand? This is a fundamental thing you have to understand. Wherever you're going to pitch, you should understand which is the kind of investor we are trying to pitch. That's why when Sonam went and said that we will not be able to give money much of returns, not much money came. But the moment he said 50% dividend,
Yes, exactly.
he got his 40 lakhs, right? So the same thing is in investment world today, people are comfortable with 25 to 30% return, which means you should commit that in 3 to 4 years time, you will double your money and give back, right? So for this to happen, that is where the money will double in 3 to 4 years time, people look for very easy, not a so complex this one, right? And very simple product, which is already proved in the market, right? Let's say you have created a lip balm, which is made up of some local tree here, and that this has been done. And it's already selling some volume. Let's say it's selling some 6,000 or 10,000 balms every month, and therefore you're able to make money. Usually investors will prefer that, right? The story is all for us as an entrepreneur, right? While you are saying that your origination has to be from within you, it is for us to sustain as an entrepreneur. But it's not something for the entrepreneur, for the investor. The investor is interested only in returns, largely, right? So, so they would quickly ask for one product, one solution, which is not complex. So if you say I'm going into cosmetics, I'm going into medicines, then I'm also going into dyeing and this one. Nobody is going to make invested money in you. Understand?
We also have the mindset not to, uh, like, with all due respect to all the investors and everything, not approach like a investor who would, where there's a clash of vision or mission, and we also don't want to dilute any kind of equity. Where because then uh, because the person would want to scale up and get all the margin on whatever he or she
So
expects.
that kind of money is not there in the world. Please, we don't. 90% of the money in the world is not for subsorting your vision.
Understood.
90% of the money is to double it up in 3 years or 4 years time.
Valid.
Okay, that's the only money which is available in the world. This is the kind of money which you're talking, which is the social, this one, that's an emerging area. The blended finance, the patient capital, subdued return models, all these are only a emerging phenomena. It's a long journey to go, right? In that you won't get your quick money. So a question of clash of vision, it doesn't happen. The investors are very clear. They're not here to support your vision and be with you for a long time. They just want their return and go back. So they are not in true sense equity players. It's not that the equity players, like once they put in the money, they are with the company as it goes. But that's not the kind of money. See, if you look at the stories of all the unicorns and all the big people who are there, you will see that all their investors, they change hands every second year, third year. Every second, third year, their investors will change. Because each one is trying to make money and move out, make money and move out, make money and move out. And finally, who is the loser? Is a small investor in the index. Because you know about the story of Paytm, right? What's the premium at which it was sold and what is the rate at which it is quoting today, the shares? Same thing. Ultimately, all the investors build a story so that the small investor buys the shares. And it is they who lose the money, whereas all the large investors will go out. So if you want to work with this kind of investors, like for example, we have chosen not to work with those investors. So we don't get our growth very soon. Our growth capital is so low. So in 17 years, we've been able to raise only 5 crores equity because we have 3 conditions with the equity players. If you're coming, your money has to be with us for 8 years. Only if you agree for this, then come to us. Second, if you're coming, you should be happy with 8% return on capital. Then you sign up with us. The third, do not expect that the money exit will be another purchase with a huge premium. These 3 conditions we put. That's why we got only 5 crores in 17 years. Because that kind of capital is not there. Is this clear? Be careful in your choice. There are lots of these things which we speak here. It is for our own self. It is the energy for us. The internal story, which I said that dig deep into yourself and come with the story, it's for you because that will give you the driving force for the long journey that you will have. For the investor, it is the simplest. One single product which can give you money. You understand these 2 different angles? Is this clear? What the investor is looking for is different from what you are looking for and what you are trying to do it from there. Right? If you, yeah.
So it's the same thing, even donors, HIAL. So as you said, very important here is to know your vision is what sustains you. But the story you tell the donor or the investor is what he wants to hear. But these two need not be anti. Like when we even raise CSR funds, they are not even equity funds. हर कंपनी का अपना फिलोसफी होता है कि वो किसको सपोर्ट करना चाहता है. So we have to match that. You can't go with the ego ki this is my vision, take it or leave it. No? So there's a very balance between your self-respect and your ego actually.
Yeah.
Means while you have to have your self-respect that you cannot change your vision, but at the same time, you have to be ready.
You have to figure out how you can align yourself to them. That is something which we should definitely visualize. All of us should visualize. Do a thorough preparation wherever you're going to give you a pitch. Understand what is their likings, what is the language which they understand, and see how you can fit your own vision into line with that.
This is not saying for HIAL's incubation because this is your initial thing, but eventually you will go further to raise also. So he's telling you about general investor mindset, and that's what I was trying to tell how HIAL is different. We respect sustainable this, we may be patient and all of that, but he's talking about 99% of the investors who are out there.
Okay, so let's see here from the architect.
हेलो एवरीवन। तो मेरा लाइफ में एक छोटा सा ये गोल है कि मुझे सस्टेनेबल आर्किटेक्चर प्रैक्टिस करना है। तो मतलब मैं जब 8th स्टैंडर्ड में थी तब से ऐसे हो रहा था कि मैं एक्चुअली अभी सिटी में रहती हूँ, लेकिन गांव में ही मैं बड़ी हूँ। तो गांव में आना जाना रहता था, और मेरा जो गांव का घर है वो पूरा मिट्टी और लकड़ी से बना हुआ है, और सिटी में मैं जहाँ रहती हूँ वो पूरा कंक्रीट स्ट्रक्चर है। तो हमेशा ऐसा लगता था कि मेरा घर भी ऐसे होना चाहिए, मतलब मिट्टी का घर होना चाहिए, क्योंकि उसमें जो वार्मथ होती है तो वो मुझे ये यहाँ पे नहीं मिलती है। और ये जो हम कंक्रीट जंगल देखते हैं बाहर जाके, तो वो मुझे इतना पसंद नहीं आता। तो इसलिए मैंने मतलब मिट्टी के रिलेटेड जो कुछ भी काम होते हैं, जैसे कि पॉटरी, स्कल्पटिंग वगैरह, वो करना धीरे धीरे शुरू किया। और फिर मतलब 10th 12th के बाद जब घर में पेरेंट्स पूछते हैं कि तुम्हें क्या करना है, तो मुझे वैसे तो फाइन आर्ट्स पे जाना था कि मैं ये जो कुछ भी आर्ट वगैरह है वो एक्सप्लोर कर सकूं। लेकिन उसमें ऐसे होता है कि डिग्री नहीं मिलेगी, तो मुझे मतलब आर्किटेक्चर चूज करना पड़ा। लेकिन ये बात सही है कि मुझे जो मैं अभी कर रही हूँ वो काम भी मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। तो अभी मैं देखती हूँ कि जैसे बाहर लोगों को मतलब ऐसा लगता है कि जो मिट्टी के घर है या फिर जो मतलब ट्रेडिशनल आर्किटेक्चर है उसके बारे में, मतलब उन्हें ऐसा लगता है कि एक तो वो उसका कंस्ट्रक्शन मेथड जो होता है वो इतना क्विक नहीं है, और उसमें थोड़े बहुत ऐसा है कि मतलब अगर बिल्डिंग कंक्रीट का है तो वो अच्छा होता है, अगर मिट्टी का है तो इतना अच्छा नहीं होता है, ऐसे उनके मन में बैठा हुआ है। तो मुझे हमेशा ऐसा लगता है कि नहीं, हमें लोगों तक पहुंचना चाहिए, उन्हें बताना चाहिए कि अ, ये घर भी बहुत अच्छे होते हैं और सस्टेनेबल है, और हमें मतलब इसके बारे में सोचना चाहिए कि हम मदद को कैसे हेल्प कर सकते हैं थोड़ा। जैसे कि अभी देखा जाए तो आर्टिसंस है, क्राफ्ट्समैनशिप है, वो भी मशीन की वजह से जो हैंड स्किल्स है वो हम खो चुके हैं। तो मुझे उस पर काम करना भी बहुत अच्छा लगता है। तो मतलब जो मेरा स्टूडियो होगा तो उसमें मैं ऐसे स्किल हैंड्स को और मतलब मैं खुद के स्किल्स भी और डेवलप करना चाहूंगी, और मेरा खुद का स्टूडियो में ऐसा रन करना चाहूंगी कि जिसमें एक सस्टेनेबल प्रैक्टिस हो। So,
So, two, three aspects. So, sustainability, the moment we use this word sustainability, we think that there are a lot of consumers for this. There aren't. There aren't consumers for sustainability. Are there?
ये अभी बहुत कम है।
बहुत कम है. So, and this everybody knows, including the investors, that there is a good, nice talk about sustainability, ecological requirements and all, but the consumers are very bare minimum, right? So whether it is in construction, whether it is in food, you have to understand that this, to the investor, the topmost question is, how are you going to be different in the sustainability business so that it really, whatever investment that is going to come is going to pay back? Uska answer to mil nahi raha hai, right? On the other side, like I said, it is the internal journey, right? For us, we all want, why do I, like Sonam said in his talk, saying that, at long time, back itself, he realized that money is just an instrument, right? And it's not the end of life. Money is required to sustain your life, but it's not the end, right? He mentioned about it. He realized that. So that is his internal quest, and which continued to give the power for him to sustain for 30 years, 40 years, because money was not the primary driver. Something else was driving. Educational innovation was driving, right? So, in the logic that you're trying to build, the logic of money is required for the investors, right? You can say that money is not important, but when you go to the investment world, you have to say money is, yes, you will earn back to pay the returns which are required for the money. This one, right? So that part is there, but this part is more important. Is that what is it centrally anchoring you? What is it centrally anchoring it? And उसमें 2-3 stories मैंने सुना. एक तो है कि I'm worried that robots are coming and hand skills are lost. I'm worried that we are not grounded. We have certain misconceptions about building technologies, old building technologies, and we are in awe with the new building technologies, which are not superior, but still we are awe that something is coming there. But it's not falling clearly. What is it that the deep inherent passion, which is actually driving it? I will tell you 2-3 organizations. There's an organization called Hunarshala Foundation. It's in Gujarat. You know about it? Yeah, okay. Very good. So then you'll see. Now their way of looking at building construction is what is it, the construction which can give maximum employment to local artisans, right? So they use all sorts of local artisans in their construction as a technology, right? And there are organizations like in Auroville where Gitanjali and all. So in Auroville you'll see that a lot of building technologies which are about using mud, right? You have compressed brick technology, so many other technologies which are more about looking at. So there are many different themes around which construction industry is originating, right? And you can build a whole lot of business around that.
Yes.
But first you have to ask yourself what is actually driving you, and that story should come in a very cogent way. Today that picture is not coming out. So is there a way in which you can actually align and figure out what is actually the reason which is driving you to do this?
So, KG, you must also tell everybody
Hmm.
that how talking about your ideas, like building this story, na? So, see, हम सबकी life में बहुत चीजें हुई है ना. So when you build a story, it has to be that one aspect of your life, and then to articulate it. So it takes time to figure out what is that. So I understand because I know where she's coming from. But what he's trying to say is if you're meeting a stranger whom you're going to pitch your idea, the clarity with which you should tell your story, it has still to work out. So I invited Chuskit to be here because she does this exercise where we have this space we create where each one shares their story. And because, as I told you, our education system talks to us about the whole world, but never about what are we thinking, what are we feeling. Never anybody asks. Teachers never ask. Parents will ask, ki, kitna percentage aaya? They'll never ask, how did you feel in the school today? Are you happy? So we are not used to being in touch with ourselves. So this session we are doing is key entrepreneurship is key starts with you being in touch with yourself.
And it
So-
takes time. It takes time for you where you have to keep narrating these stories repeatedly to many people. And then one fine day it will dawn on you. What is it actually is the experience which is propelling you forward?
So we will do these sessions where we will have this space where the stories will be shared. Like what is causing each one to have that idea, the business idea, where it is coming from. And you will then reach a point where just a TED talk hota hai na, just 18 minutes, very impactful, right? वो पूरा life का अपना journey एक neuroscientist can tell in 15 minutes, right? It means उन्होंने बहुत कितना curation होता है उसका, वो 2-3 महीने they work with the curator talk के लिए. तो what KG is trying to say is कि जो हमारा passion है, जो हमें drive कर रहा है, this is one thing we have to understand. हम उसको कैसे articulate करें कि आप किसी को भी जाके बोलो, वो बोलेगा wow, what an idea. And why you think Sonam is invited जैसे across the world? अभी he was in Singapore. You should ask him and you should Sonam maybe share this story. I think it has got perfected after you've shared it so many times, right? Every time you share it, it gets better and better. No? You get crisper and crisper. So हमको खुद को भी अपना नहीं पता होता कि हम कुछ क्यों कर रहे हैं जिंदगी में. So as we keep sharing these stories, the idea is you should be in one sentence tell why are you doing, what is it, which will have your own passion of your vision plus what the investor is looking for, and that is what we are trying to achieve here. Okay. So just thought I should add.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone. So the main reason that we plantation teams are thinking about um doing kind of opening a cafe kind of thing, in which we are going to use the product, vegetables or fruits that we are growing here in our own greenhouse. And one important means main thing that we have is this passive solar greenhouse, which through which is the main speciality of this greenhouse is that it can remain uh, means above 0 degrees Celsius even in winter. So in which we can cultivate many kind of vegetables which used to grow in lower area of India, which we can grow here in Ladakh right now. So to get sustainable here, even in winter, to means without consuming the vegetable that we have that we get from other part of India, like Punjab and all this, which are full of chemicals, as we all know that, and it is very harmful for our health also. So to make these issues, this problem, which is affecting health of people in Ladakh, uh, we are looking at sustainable way of building a uh, cafe or restaurant, which is so healthy and also which is profitable for our health. So this is the main thing that we have thought it, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't some people give suggestions?
Yeah, those who have already.
They've gone through this exercise. What is your suggestions to her? Are you impressed with the problem statement that she's making? If you had money, will you put money into her enterprise?
I have a
Yes.
suggestion. There's a growing culture of veganism here in Leh itself, where a lot of cafes are very proud of serving vegan cuisine, but they're not understanding the fact that the certain ingredients, majorly all the ingredients that are sourced outside Leh, so that have more carbon footprint, and you know what, you have to fly it through flights and cargo and all that. So that's like, no, you're not. It's just the facade of vegan and saving the earth and all that. But I feel what the idea she has, that is something that usually grows here. It doesn't support any kind of veganism or any kind of extremism in cuisine, but that's something very sustainable, which is ingrown, and that they can play with, like like the using local ingredients, something we find it rare. Everything is like becoming too globalized, that now I guess there are only two places that serve cuisines, Ladakhi cuisines. One is the Alchi and one is Dikhambir. I think we are very rare, like people want to have or try that, because one, it could be like difficult to find that place or pretty expensive or not to their taste. So using those homegrown, vegetables, they can curate a certain menu which is like in sync with something that people non-Ladakhis would also like, but at the same time sticking to the roots.
Another issue that I've seen, my means personal issue, means situation problems that I've seen is that in these days in restaurant and cafes they are using lots of this Ajinomoto MSG, which is causing lots of health problems. So we are thinking that they are not using any kind of chemicals, only organic foods using. Plus adding lots of value addition in by drying vegetables and all those things.
So there are two key questions that has to be answered. One is that for your internal energy to be of very high level, you are basically trying to articulate a system of production and consumption, a system of production and consumption which is much more visible, transparent, non-chemical based, right, and which you can relate to, and then also have a consumption around that. Now this is a very powerful communication, right, which is a self-reliant lifestyle that you want to generate.
Mhm.
But today's world doesn't want self-reliant lifestyle. because it's too cumbersome. Do you understand what I'm saying? Ideally, all of us should be growing our own vegetables because then we can be sure of what we are doing. But nobody is going to do that, right? 90% of them are not going to do that. So you have to figure out a personal story of how this self-reliance life, which is a very good production system, is established and gives a solution to the consumer. But stories alone will not sell. I again am telling you, sustainability, like I told her, sustainability is a good story. Everybody will listen, right? If you go to Hyderabad and say that, I have a good greenhouse that I want, very well constructed greenhouse, local technologies, local material, and all those things, and you want search for buyers, you will not find buyers, not many buyers for that, right? So there is an issue with the market. In the market, the consumer is first thing. The moment you talk about sustainability, it sells as 200%, 300% premium. Most of it sells at 200, 300% premium, which is not affordable by normal people. Do you understand? The pricing becomes different. The moment pricing becomes different, the purchasers will be very few. And the purchasers are very few, market is not big. And you are not in the business to only make money, and it is only servicing 4%, 3% of the population, but it has to be an impact which is generated for a large section of people, right? So the solution that you're conceptualizing has to be solid, it has to be simple, it can generate profits. It need not be at a super premium price. This is the technical aspects. Whereas the heart aspect is also has to be very strong. It has to tell why are you recommending a self-reliant production system, even though it's cumbersome, even though it's very hard to develop such kind of a lifestyle. Am I make some sense or not make some sense? Huh? Yeah.
See, ये क्या पॉइंट कर रहे हैं कि आज जैसा चल रहा है दुनिया, आप उसी में एक प्रोडक्ट डाल दोगे तो वो बहुत प्रॉफिट में भी मेक कर लेगा, लेकिन इतना वो लंबा नहीं होगा कि यू विल सस्टेन इट, बिकॉज आपका कोई इनर विजन है. आपका जो इनर विजन है वो मे बी इतना आइडियलिज्म है उसमें कि इट विल नॉट टुडे इटसेल्फ सेल मिलियन यूनिट्स, राइट?
Yes.
तो वो जो आपका आइडियलिज्म है, व्हाट यू वांट टू अचीव, व्हिच इज योर बिग पर्पस इन लाइफ, एंड टुडेज रियलिटी, द वर्ल्ड दैट यू आर चेंजिंग इज द, जैसे पैसिव सोलर का एग्जांपल ले लो, है ना. 25 साल से हमने ये बना के रख दिया ना, सबने देख भी लिया. 25 साल से ये ग्रो नहीं हुआ ना इतना. बट
नॉर्मल बिल्डिंग्स तो बहुत सारे मिल जाएंगे.
बट इफ यू सी नॉर्मल सीमेंट कंस्ट्रक्शन कितना हुआ है, होटल्स अभी. बट व्हाट कीप्स सोनम वांगचुक गोइंग कि ही स्टिल वांट्स टू डू, या व्हाट कीप्स ग्यालसन गोइंग कि 10 साल में वो पैसिव सोलर ही उसको करना है, तो हम उससे सुनेंगे. या व्हाट इज मेकिंग पीके टेक अप दिस कि मैं सोलर पैसिव ही करूंगा, इवन दो 30 साल लग गए अभी तक मेन स्ट्रीम होने में, राइट? तो दिस इज व्हाट वी विल कम टू अगेन ओवर द नेक्स्ट 2-3 डेज कि वही बिजनेसेस सर्वाइव करते हैं जो आइडियलिज्म पे बेस्ड होते हैं, पर आज उसको सक्सेसफुल इमीडिएट नहीं होता. अगर आप जो एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी है, माइनिंग, आज आप आयरन ओर का ट्रेडिंग करोगे आप करोड़पति बन जाओगे, लेकिन 2 साल के बाद वो बिजनेस बंद हो जाएगा क्योंकि एनवायरमेंट के लिए वो ठीक नहीं. सो दिस इज द थिंग वी हैव टू लर्न कि जैसे आपका भी है बिजनेस ना, you want to go move into the ecological space, today does not make money, today जो लोग ट्रैश करके जाते हैं वो ज्यादा पैसे बनाते. So how can you do this and that both is entrepreneurship. So that's the point he's making. Is it clear now?
Yes. So the current reality is totally different, and what you are talking about as an ideal solution is different.
And that opportunity itself helps you make money, but when you're working in it initially is not easy to break the mindset. So how does, so to keep at
Not
it,
just mindset, even physical barriers भी रहते हैं. बहुत सारे physical barriers. For example, you want to do, let's say, produce your own vegetables. I think most of us are physically unfit to do agriculture. The physical barrier है. Because we have gone to schools where we are made to sit passively and listen. We have not gone to schools where we are actively engaged in some action. You know, this one. So हम physically unfit है to do gardening, to do, you know, backyard agriculture, household backyard agriculture. Do you understand? So even just there are too many barriers for ideal solutions. That is something which you should be very conscious, and that is what will you have to keep solving, and that gives the pathway for your this one.
That is the innovation we are talking about. So how do you do it differently? Here you are acceptable, you make the change, you make the money, you know, that is that innovation that we have to think at every step. We'll work on this idea more. Huh? So on the third day, everybody will be working one-on-one individually on mentors. Perfect. So thank you.
तो हमारा प्रॉब्लम है कि हमारी फादर का एक वुड वर्कशॉप है जहाँ पे फर्नीचर्स और विंडोज डोर्स ये सारे वगैरह ये सब बनते हैं। तो हमारी वर्कशॉप में से जब लास्ट जो विंटर जो आता है उस समय हमारी वर्कशॉप से बहुत सारे वुड वेस्टेज आता है। तो उन वुड वेस्टेज को मतलब हमें या तो हमारी पड़ोसी को या तो हमारी उनको बेचना या मतलब उनको जलाने के लिए देता है। तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि उन वेस्टेज वुड से उन वेस्टेज मतलब चीजों से हम इको फ्रेंडली प्रोडक्ट्स बनाना चाहते हैं। जैसे कि हमारे पास कॉस्मेटिक्स आता है बहुत सारे जैसे कि शेविंग ब्लेड्स आता है वो सब बहुत सारे वो सब प्लास्टिक का आता है। सो मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि क्यों ना हम उस प्लास्टिक के बदले हम वो वहां से जो हमारी वर्कशॉप से वेस्टेज वुड आता है उससे क्यों ना मतलब वो बनाएंगे। और बहुत सारे हमारे मतलब फर्नीचर्स बनते हैं। तो फर्नीचर्स के लिए सारे मटेरियल्स जो है वो दिल्ली से या तो बाहर की मतलब जगह से मतलब वो एक्सपोर्ट होते हैं। तो हम सोच रहे हैं कि मतलब हमारे पास बहुत सारे वेस्टेज आता है सर, बहुत सारे मतलब कपड़े जो होता है ये मतलब 2-3 साल के बाद हम छोड़ देते हैं, फेंक देते हैं। सो वो मतलब कई जगह यूज नहीं होता है। सो सोफा बनाने के लिए, फर्नीचर्स बनाने के लिए, बेड बनाने के लिए, मैट्रेस बनाने के लिए इन्हीं कपड़ों का मतलब बहुत यूज हम कर सकते हैं। सो इन चीजों से हम वो अच्छे मतलब फर्नीचर अन्य अच्छे मैट्रेस जो है वो हम डिजाइन कर सकते हैं। सो मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि हमारी मतलब उन जैसे मतलब वेस्टेज को मतलब यूज करके मतलब प्रोडक्ट्स बनाए। जैसे कि पैकेजिंग आता है सर, पैकेजिंग जो अभी जो पैकेजिंग जो मतलब फूड पैकेजिंग मतलब बहुत सारे पैकेजिंग आते हैं वो बाहर से मतलब जो भी चीजें मतलब पैकेजिंग का मतलब प्रोडक्ट्स जो है वो बाहर से मतलब एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं। क्यों ना हम जो मतलब पेपर जो वेस्टेज है उनको मतलब रीयूज करके पैकेजिंग का मतलब सारा मतलब सामान बना सकते, तो हम उन पे मतलब मैं काम करना चाहता हूँ।
ओके, सो आपने पहले तो बोला था कि यू आर ए डिजाइन स्टूडेंट।
मतलब प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन करना चाहता हूँ, वही बोल।
न्यू प्रोडक्ट्स अराउंड वेस्ट वेरी गुड।
अपस्किलिंग
रीयूज एंड रिसाइकल काइंड ऑफ।
सो मतलब हमारे लद्दाख में ना सर शिंगसाक होता है जो मतलब विंडो की ऊपर आपने देखा होगा बहुत बड़ा लकड़ी का मतलब बहुत सारे डिजाइन होता है। सो वो इतने वुड काट के इतने मतलब वुड मतलब काट के मतलब छोटे पीस बना के वो मतलब बनते। सो वो उन मतलब वुड से नहीं बना के मतलब उन वेस्टेज को वो बनाने में उस वेस्टेज को उसमें लगाए तो मतलब बहुत चीपर भी हो जाएगा। मतलब उसको मतलब वो मतलब सारे मतलब लद्दाखी एफर्ट्स कर सकते हैं।
तो आप डिजाइन स्किल्स यूज करके अपसाइक्लिंग करना चाहते हैं वेस्ट का। मतलब वो शुरू होगा वुड के साथ बट इट विल बी टू ऑल द अदर मटेरियल्स। अपसाइक्लिंग,
राइट, वेरी नाइस। तो आप इसके बारे में थोड़ा और पर्सनल स्टोरी, तो एक आपने बोला था कि भाई आपका एक कारपेंटरी है बेटा, वहाँ से
जी हमारी मतलब मैं बचपन से मतलब मेरे पापा के साथ मतलब वर्कशॉप में काम करना, जैसे कि मतलब हम जब छोटे थे तो फिर वो छोटे छोटे पीस जो विंडो बना के बच जाते थे, तो फिर उन्हों से हम मतलब गाड़ियां बनाते, ट्राइड्स बनाते, क्यों ना हम उसको मतलब मतलब अभी स्कूलों में बहुत सारे मतलब वो मॉडल्स होते हैं, मतलब साइंस की जो लेबोरेटरी में बहुत सारे मॉडल्स बनते हैं, वो क्यों ना उन वेस्टेज से हम बना के हम उनको भेजे, स्कूल्स को भेजे, यूनिवर्सिटीज को भेजे। ये
वेरी गुड। ओके, स्लोली आप कुछ कुछ अपने अंदर से बता रहे हो कि क्या क्या है, उसको थोड़ा और डीपली सोचिए और स्टोरी पूरा एकदम बनाइए कि कैसे प्रोडक्ट्स है, और फिर उसके बाद उसको रिलेट कीजिए कि वेस्ट का जो रिसाइकिल और रीयूज और डिजाइन स्किल्स जो आप यूज करना चाहते हो वो कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं।
जी
हाँ?
सो मतलब देखिए ना
नहीं,
सर, अगर
एट सम
वो
पॉइंट
ये नहीं कह रहे अभी बता,
हम्म,
वो कह रहे हैं कि नेक्स्ट 2-3 दिन में और डीपली सोचो कि जैसे क्या प्रोडक्ट्स फर्स्ट ईयर में क्या करोगे, वो थोड़ा स्टार्ट करो।
ठीक
थैंक यू।
ओके।
नमस्ते। तो मैं अपने स्टोरी के साथ शुरू करना चाहेंगे। जैसे मेरे फैमिली में जो मेरे पापा है, जो जब हम छोटे थे मेन सोर्स ऑफ घर का इनकम पापा ही था, तो वो पेशे से एक मैसन था जो गांव में रिनॉन था। तो मैंने सोचा था कि जब मैं सिग्मोर में आके जब मैं ये लाइन ज्वाइन क्यों करेंगे ये सोचा था, तो मैंने सोचा था कि जितना पापा ने किया उससे थोड़ा ऊपर तक शायद मैं करूंगा। जैसे कुछ सोचा था कि छोटा सा एक पैसिव सोलर का कॉन्ट्रैक्टर बनेगा, ऐसे कुछ सोचा था। बट फिर तब से अभी तक यही कंस्ट्रक्शन लाइन में करते आ रहा हूँ। तो ज्यादा ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग होते हुए भी मेरे को पता चल रहा है कि लद्दाख में इसी चीज का सबसे बड़ा जरूरत है। तो जैसे मेनली अभी हायल कर रहा है और शेजन कर रहा है, और जो 3-4 कॉन्ट्रैक्टर जो जितना लद्दाख में कर रहा है, वो जितना बाहर कर रहा है वो सब सिर्फ रैम रद्द कर रहा है या और एक दो चीजों में कर रहा है, जो बाकी लद्दाख के गाँव वाले या मिडिल क्लास लोग एफर्ड नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि उसका कॉस्ट मान लो 1 क्यूबिक मीटर का इतना है। तो बाकी उनके घर में क्या है, स्टोन्स अवेलेबल होता है, मटेरियल सब अवेलेबल होता है, ब्रिक भी होता है, तो वो लोग खुद कास्ट करता है, ब्रिक स्टोन खुद तैयार करता है। तो उसके हिसाब से अगर लोकल ब्रिक और स्टोन के साथ अगर कंस्ट्रक्ट करेगा तो उनको अबाउट हाफ या 60 या 70% कॉस्ट पे जितना रैम डॉट को कॉस्ट होगा उसके उतना कॉस्ट के अंदर बन जाएगा। तो उसके हिसाब से मैं सिर्फ जितना हम पैसिव सोलर यहाँ पे जैसे बनाता है उसके अलावा भी लोकल उनके पास जितना मटेरियल है उससे बनाएगा, तो जितना लद्दाख के गाँव है वो सब में बन सकता है। तो जिसमें सारे लद्दाख को फायदा होगा और सारे लद्दाख के जितने भी घर से पोल्यूशन निकलता है हीटिंग के लिए वो सब फ्री हो जाएगा। तो उसके हिसाब से मैंने इससे कुछ सोचा है। बाकी और एक जो है लद्दाख के घर में जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल मेरे खुद का है, जैसे अभी विंटर आ रहा है, तो जैसे अगस्त से काउडंग कलेक्ट करना शुरू करते हैं, वुड कलेक्ट करना शुरू करते हैं, वो सब करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा। और जैसे यहीं पैसिव सोलर में जैसे अभी आजकल जितना भी लद्दाख में कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है वो सब में क्या होता है कि 90% मटेरियल बाहर से इम्पोर्ट करते हैं। जैसे सीमेंट है श्रीनगर या हिमाचल या दिल्ली से आते हैं, और सरिया वो भी आते हैं, फिर सैंड बाकी क्रशर वशर सब कुछ है, वो सब तैयार करके जितना भी मटेरियल आता है वो सब का बहुत ज्यादा कार्बन फुटप्रिंट है। जैसे अभी पैसिव सोलर में आते हैं तो, और पैसिव सोलर प्लस अर्थ कंस्ट्रक्शन है, जिसमें खुद के जितना भी अराउंड सराउंडिंग में जितना मटेरियल है 90% वही यूज होता है, जितना कुछ 10% है तो वही फैक्ट्री में मटेरियल यूज होता है, जिससे कंस्ट्रक्शन के टाइम में भी जो मटेरियल का जो पोल्यूशन निकलता है वो बहुत सारा रिड्यूस किया जा सकता है। ऐसे कुछ सोच के करने की इच्छा है। हाँ, that's all. कुछ क्वेश्चन? सजेशन
एक सेशन हम करेंगे where आप सब investors होंगे and you will be telling whether you'll put your money on. Okay, so you'll also be on the other side of the table, है ना? Yeah, how the investor thinks. So will you put money on this?
Yes, I'm sure.
Vikram? Good. Okay, very good teacher.
once again. मेरा और पीके का लाइन सेम है अपना स्टोरी मैं इस लाइन में क्यों आया इसका अपना स्टोरी से शुरू करूंगा I joined Sigmol in 2001 when I failed in 10th class and since then I don't want to do a government job somehow I don't know but internally I don't want to do a government job and then I've been in Sigmol for 6-7 years, and in that time I got to know about passive solar. क्या होता है क्योंकि सिग्मल में हम क्या करते थे जितना भी विजिटर आते थे हम उनको कैंपस टूर देते थे तो उनको समझाते समझाते इनको टूर देते देते मतलब इतना समझ में आ गया था कि ये जरूरी है
Good student, star student बन गया.
and
Okay.
going back to my village हम सर्दियों में 4-5 किलोमीटर से पेट पे लकड़ी उठा के लाते थे माय फादर वाज इन आर्मी एंड हम 4-5 भाई लोग थे तो मदर के साथ फायरवुड कलेक्ट करने के लिए सुबह जाते थे शाम तक मतलब बंडल ऑफ वुड पेट पे लाते थे 4-5 किलोमीटर से और लकड़ी को जमा करने के लिए पंगोंग मतलब सर्दियों में जब फिनिश हो जाते थे हम लोग सुबह 4 बजे उठ के जाते हैं उस झील की उस पार लकड़ी इकट्ठा करना है वहां पे कोई झील पे 2-3 घंटा चलने के बाद फिर वहां पे थोड़ा सा इतना ठंडे में चाय पी के फिर वहां से कम 2-3 किलोमीटर पहाड़ी पे जाके वहां से लकड़ी इकट्ठा करके फिर वहाँ 3-4 किलोमीटर झील पे शाम तक वापस आना पड़ता था तो बहुत सारा क्या बोलते हो लाइफ रिस्क में डाल के लकड़ी लाते थे क्योंकि आपने कभी पंगोंग झील में अगर सर्दी में जाओगे तो बीच में इतना इतना कैरावन होता है क्या होता है केरवस उतना होता है तो सुबह हम 4 बजे जाते हैं तो फ्रीज हो चुका होता है जब हम वापस आते हैं तो उसी रास्ते से हम नहीं पता मतलब कभी कभार हमारे को 3-3 4-4 किलोमीटर वो ढूंढते ढूंढते कहाँ से हम क्रॉस कर सकते हैं उतना जाना पड़ता था तो रिस्की भी है क्योंकि 1-2 बंदा जब मतलब गिर गया था लकीली वो बच गया समाओ वो सब सोचते सोचते मैंने ये रियलाइज किया कि मैं इस फील्ड में कुछ करूंगा एंड ये इन फ्यूचर में जाके ये मतलब बिजनेस का स्कोप भी मेरे इसमें देखा तो आई ज्वाइन Signal organized the first solar building course back then in 2006. So I joined that course, and after 2 years of course, I joined Shezon Solar Tadwak, one of the wings of Signal that time, which who builds solar building for schools, army, and all those. So I joined. And after joining Shezon, and there was a crisis with the Signal and all those, so it closed. And then I thought like I'll continue with my study. So I went to Jammu for higher studies and spending 2 or 3 months at Jammu, वहाँ पे क्या बोलते हो? I feel not doing it. So I came back to Leh and I joined.
Another dropout.
Yeah, I joined Ladakh Ecological Development Group. Ladakh, where they have a project on passive solar building all over Ladakh. So I joined for the same project, and I was supervising and at the same time the 2010 flood happened, and after the flood, lots of rehabilitation came start. So we built around like 30 to 40 house of passive solar building for to rehabilitate the flood affected peoples. And then in 2012 we started this our own venture called Third Pole Land Earth Construction, Third Pole Company. And since then I was very sure that this in this line I won't go out of business, because this passive solar thing started into 19 like 95 when Segmol's built their campus. So from then, like I have seen lots of people who were like really interested in doing passive solar, and also lots of inquiries keep coming. How you build a passive solar? Can I build a passive solar? There's a lots of question and confusion, but among that, I find out that like it won't go out of business. So I should be in this line only. So I never look back, and I keep continuing my work and still doing the same. And then there are lots of problem, confusion, inquiries that keep coming, and that I have to solve according, because in cities people have limited land. Building a passive solar in cities is like bit difficult, and then the aesthetic point of passive solar is also like some, there are like lots of people don't want lots of glass at the south and all those things. So there are like few problems that has to be solved, and otherwise passive solar has a bright future in future also. So that's why I've been in this field. And also it's not like people don't know about passive solar. Segmol has been doing passive solar since 1995, and ecology with the with their one project, they build a passive solar all over Ladakh. So people has that idea and concept of passive solar. Even in my villages, Miracle, there are like more than 20 passive solar building in Miracle, and people know that people passive solar is good for health, warm in winter, and but the techniques, and there are like lots of small things that need to be improved, and so there is lots of opportunities in that field also. This what I think.
Wow.
So you, I will ask a different question for you, because no. The question is not ending there. Now you want to make it, let's say 10 crore. If at all you want to make it, there's no harm to be in 1.5. You can always be. I always use the word scale is a matter of choice, right? There is nothing called as unviable business, which is small scale. A small scale tea shop is as much viable in making money as much as a 5-star hotel which is serving you a coffee or tea. So it's just your choice. Scale is a choice. Please remember, no investor, nobody can actually push you any particular scale. Nobody can say that this is the scale which is good, right? Only large scale is good is also not correct, right?
Yeah.
So you take that as a rider, but still I want to ask, if you want to grow to become 10 crore, what is it that you do? Will passive solar itself give you that much?
No, till now, I prefer going slowly, organically, because this whatever according is with my what do you call limitation. I wouldn't say, but I always want to make sure what I am doing is like suitable and like perfectly quality wise. No.
So
And I have to find a way somehow, but
large scale is not quality production. Most people will think like that. Do you mean to say large scale is not quality?
I wouldn't say.
So don't link quality with scale.
No.
Don't link quality with scale. So you should answer independently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm answering that for me, I want to scale up, but not in a abrupt way that I will.
And the enterprise growth stories, I tell you, in enterprise growth, you also sometimes don't have a choice of growth. Right? So you please understand, entrepreneurs in their lifetime can only prepare themselves. Right? That's the only business that you can do. You prepare yourself constantly. Beyond that, opportunities for growth is from the ecosystem. Is it correct? Is it correct? Growth is not done by you. And this is a very important concept. Please understand. See, somebody has read this book called Tipping Point. Have you read this book called Tipping Point? You've heard, anyway, the easiest example for that is curd. How does curd get formulated? Have you seen how curd gets formulated? How does curd? Anybody who makes curd every day? Huh? How does it curdle? How it curdle? The process. You add the starter, and it'll. How long does it remain liquid? And when does it become solid?
Overnight. Overnight we have to keep
Yeah. So overnight, how long does it remain liquid?
75% of the time it remains liquid or more.
More than that. 75 to 80% of your time, if you see, observe the milk throughout the night, it will always be liquid. It's only in the last 10% of time it actually curdles. That's how curd gets formulated. Right? Look at the lifetime of the people. Almost up to the age of 40, 45 years, 50 years. Right? People just do something here and there. At the age of 45 to 50 years, you will see suddenly there are a lot of matured ideas that they take up. Agree or don't agree? Have you seen lives of people?
Yeah. We are saying in Ladakh, like, if you settle before 40, after 40 to 50, age of 40 to 50, you settle normal.
Yes. Because it takes time for the maturity to emerge. Just like the milk and curd, 80% of your time you're only preparing. You're preparing yourself to be a good entrepreneur, to be a good leader, to be a good parent, to be a good this one. Because you don't know what it is. And only in the fact and you actually demonstrate your capability outside. Right? And it happens in the moment like this. In the last 10% of time, the curd actually becomes very solid. There's a scientific reason. Why? What is the scientific reason? The starter that you have used has to multiply to a certain level, right? Before it can curdle the entire milk. That's why it takes initially that much of time to multiply itself to curdle the milk. Right? So even entrepreneurs can prepare themselves, but for the ecosystem to recognize you, right? And to provide you all the support. You require finance, they will give you finance. You will require this one. You require regulation support, they will give you regulation support. If government has to give you some support, all this to come. See, none of these people are going to give you easy support. All of these people, whether it is finance, whether it is regulation, whether it is market, consumers, traders, all of them would like to see you initially. Whether you are demonstrating credible, authentic, and proper delivery. They will wait and see for first 10, 15 years. Like for example, if you look at this one, I had an intention to promote women enterprises. It's not something new. 22 years back, I decided that I'll be working with women and helping them set up their enterprises. But my first time that I got even 1 crore rupees to do this one, it was almost 11 years of struggle. Why? Just by story, by my passion or whatever Excel sheets that I show, nobody is going to give you me money. They want to see the demonstrated effect, right? They want to see whether you can really execute, whether you can really bring out that kind of results. So it took, with some small money here and there, we started doing some enterprises. Some of these enterprises became successful. That's when people started listening to me, right? So to get my first 1 crore, it was 2012. By the time, it was almost 12 years. In the next 8 years, I was able to raise another 40-50 crores. And I am sure in the next 10 years, I will be able to raise 300 crores. Is it not that I didn't want this money before? Yes, I wanted. But the ecosystem will not support you unless you demonstrate what we call consistency, consistency of delivery, consistency of purpose, ability to be very focused and work around this particular idea. Right? It's the same like the curd. 80% of your time is you are only multiplying your capability. You're multiplying your capability. The impact of multiplication of that capability will happen in the last 20% of your time.
It's clear, no? So I'll give you an example for somebody I know personally. आपने अपने अपोलो हॉस्पिटल सुना होगा ना? उनके जो ओनर्स थे, ओनर हैं प्रताप रेड्डी, तो वो जब 40 साल के थे वो स्कूटर में घूमते थे. He was a general medicine doctor. 45 साल में भी स्कूटर. 50 साल में he had this idea कि he should set up. तब इंडिया में कार्डियक सर्जरी नहीं होता था, सबको सिंगापुर जाना पड़ता था. तो एज अ डॉक्टर ही फाउंड कि यह इंडिया में कैसे दे सकते हैं. सेम जैसे आप सोच रहे हैं, पैसिव सोलर नहीं है, प्रॉपर टूरिज्म नहीं है, या नो स्पोर्ट्स फैसिलिटी नहीं है, राइट? सिमिलर. तो उनके एक फ्रेंड थे, ही केम टुगेदर, दे सेट अप अपोलो हॉस्पिटल. इट वाज जस्ट 20 bedded hospital. At the age of 50 he started. So that was the first tipping point. Okay, at 40-50 he got the maturity कि मुझे एक नया business शुरू करना है. Then after 10 years, so 30 hospital was sick unit चल नहीं रहा था. One of his friends, lady friends, she donated huge amount of money. She again became one of the shareholders and all that. And at the age of 60, I think they raised debt, first debt. And even today, he is like 85 or 90. You know, he's 90 plus. He still comes every day, though he's gone a bit senile. Communications, he still handles himself because the image of the company he still handles. So 50 में first हुआ, फिर 60 में, but by the time he was 65, they were like what, $1 billion company. They had raised thousands of crores. So first 40 lakh he raise करने में 50 साल लग गया, 50 से 55, 60. But 60 से 70, it was that. So that is the point he's making.
So until 45 to 50 years, you're only preparing yourself. That's why I'm saying entrepreneurs only have one work to do, to constantly keep preparing yourself, to make yourself mature, be able to communicate to the ecosystem that you are ready. You are ready now. You can be trusted with resources, so that you will bring some magic. You'll create the impact which everybody is looking for.
और when he says prepare, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम कुछ कर नहीं रहे हैं. जैसे आप बिजनेस शुरू कर रहे हैं, that is preparation. You know, you are demonstrating. Like even Gelson, though he is in it for 10-15 years, you know, you have demonstrated, but still for that big thing, you're still preparing, right? So that's the point, isn't it?
So you have to ask. Therefore I'm not saying that you have to grow very fast, scale up very much, but the ecosystem will start responding. The moment you are preparing yourself well and you start demonstrating, the ecosystem will have an expectation. Suddenly you will see that there will be a lot of funds which will come in, a lot of big projects will come, a lot of this one will come. At that time you should be able to hold tight, right? Because you still have to deliver. So for that you have to do the preparation, right? And in that there are many questions. Is it only one technology sufficient? Multiple technologies are required. Is your solution going to be only about construction, or is it going to be about the entire household ecosystem that you want to build? Right? All that you have to think through. The moment you think through and you build capabilities for that, you will see that multiplication will happen. Yeah.
I think last one.
Hello. Some point, because I think some people who are in max, they will understand. You know, this arithmetic progression. Anybody have heard of this arithmetic progression, geometric progression, exponential progression? Yeah. Yeah. So usually growth is always arithmetic in its
You can
early
maybe
stage.
explain arithmetic
Yeah.
progression.
Right? It will go like this. And then it will slowly start going at this level. So this is this place when it is becomes exponential growth. Growth is initially very slow. So what is arithmetic? Arithmetic means it's like addition. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. It grows in that way. Just adds 1, 1, 1. That's arithmetic. So what is exponential? It becomes power, right? 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 5, 2 to the power 6. It grows in that way, right? It grows in a very rapid way. You cannot plan for this exponential growth. You cannot plan. What you can do is this. You can do arithmetic progression, which is 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 3. Start with that. That's how you should start your entrepreneurial journey. But the moment you start doing this in this way, slowly these abilities will come. Right? How does it come? In my case, it's easier to explain when it is my case. So my business is promoting, incubating enterprises of women. So I do 1 plus 1. That means I go to a small location. That's how I started my life. I go to a small location. I start one enterprise there with very small number of people, maybe say 100 women, 150 women. But as I do that, I understand that I just can't set up enterprises. Enterprise requires finance. Enterprise requires leadership training. Enterprise requires, you know, physical resources. Enterprise requires technology. So many things I get to know. So I keep adding that in a very slow way. The first thing that I did was I started doing small trainings, entrepreneurial training for women who are school dropouts. Most of the women with whom I work are all school dropouts. 7th standard, they stop their school for various socio-economic reasons, right? Women are not sent to schools. Most of them drop out of 7th standard or 8th standard. So I started doing managerial training. Now, if you have to do managerial training, and that too for school dropouts, you can't go with textbooks. You have to train them by being in action with them and helping them to gain that knowledge. So we just experimented with small training programs. That small training programs today has become a mini MBA, which is only one of its kind MBA, which is offered to women who are school dropouts. They get 9 months, they get to know all the managerial education that is required, even if you are a school dropout. Right? So like that, you add each one as a solution. We then created software which can work around supply chains for managing enterprises to create accounts. We then created something. So like that, you keep on adding solutions to this entire thing. One fine day, you have all this. You have technology, you will have education programs, you will have finances, because now we have created an NBFC which gives finance. We have also created a marketing arm which creates a brand and sells the products. So we have everything together. Now this ecosystem is seen by many people as very important. So a lot of people are coming by themselves and giving us money. And that's why we are able to grow at a rapid speed. Right? So this is what you have to do, is only prepare all these years. This will run for decades. You have to prepare yourself. You keep on fine tuning the recipe in so well that anybody can cook anywhere. They should be able to. The recipe should be so clear and good, right? Like that you see in a YouTube, you should be able to explain, right? People are now sharing a lot of recipes, cooking videos. Like that, we should be able to share. That is depending on the clarity that you are able to get during this slow, step-by-step approach that you do. At one particular point, the ecosystem will push you into the right. That's also organic, actually. The exponential growth is also organic because it has happened over a base. All this time you have to just prepare, silently keep preparing yourself. Is it clear? Okay, please.
Last one.
Julia, so I don't know that why I'm in tourism line, because शायद मुझे लगता है कि जब यहाँ पे समर वेकेशन होता है, 2 हफ्ते का समर वेकेशन होता है, तो उसमें मैं ट्रैकिंग करता था, तो एक तो साथ में पैसे भी मिलते थे, फ्री में एडवेंचर भी हो जाता था, तो शायद इसीलिए लगता है मैं टूरिज्म में हूँ, तो थोड़ा सा कनेक्टेड हूँ. तो I figure out 2 problems. One is villagers are abandoning their village. Okay. And second one is government schools are vanishing. I don't know vanish good word or not. मतलब कि गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स भी खत्म होते जा रहा है और जो बच्चे हैं जो इनरोलमेंट है गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में वो कम हो रहा है. ये दोनों थोड़ा ज्यादा इंटरनल और टच लगता है. तो आज तो चिल्ड्रन डे तो ज्यादा टच होता है. तो क्योंकि जैसे काल सुना आप जो कहते हैं कि जो एक बच्चे का लर्निंग का होता है वो तो एक गांव में मिलता है. मतलब कि जैसे कि आप खुद से फोटोसिंथेसिस देख सकते हैं, मतलब कि वो सब अब गांव में विलेजेस से नहीं रहेंगे तो फिर तो ये स्कूल्स मतलब कि ये लर्निंग तो होगा ही नहीं. मतलब कि गांव वालों गांव होंगे तो गवर्नमेंट स्कूल से नहीं होंगे. मतलब कि ये थोड़ा सा वो टच लगता है. तो जैसे मैं आई एम फ्रॉम तार विलेज विच इज एन रिमोट विलेज जो कि 70 किलोमीटर दूर है और उधर से चल के जाना पड़ता है 1.5-2 घंटे जैसा. तो जब मैं छोटा था तब तो हम व्हेन आई वाज इन 4th स्टैंडर्ड इन तार विलेज, सो वहाँ शाम को स्कूल छुट्टी होने के बाद सब लोग सारे बच्चे इकट्ठे होके क्रिकेट खेलते थे. कोई मतलब कि जो यूथ का एक्टिविटीज कुछ होता है, गेम्स होते हैं, वो सब खेलते थे. तो अभी जब मैं जाता हूँ गांव में तो वहाँ पे कुछ यूथ तो दूर की है, बस एक कुत्ते भी थोड़ा कम देखते हैं. कुत्ते भी नहीं देखते मतलब. तो बिल्कुल ही पिन ड्रॉप साइलेंस होता है. बस होंगे तो कभी कभी दिन में बस बूढ़ा बूढ़ी ही देखेंगे गाँव में. तो बहुत ही ज्यादा दुख होता है ऐसा देख के. मतलब कि पूरा गांव पूरा एबेंडन हो रहा है और ये मेरा गांव नहीं है. जैसे कि मतलब कि यही चला कि मतलब कि गांव एबेंडन हो रहा है. तो और भी गांव है जैसे कि हिप्ती कहेंगे, हिप्ती भी. तो लास्ट ईयर मैंने विजिट किया था कि हिप्ती के 7-8 गाँव घर है, वो भी नीचे आए हुए हैं हाईवे की तरफ, क्योंकि एक तो वाटर स्कैर्सिटी है, दूसरा इनकम भी नहीं है. तो टूरिज्म की मदद से मैं इन जो भी विलेज ये सब विलेजेस है तो उनको रिहेबिलिटेट कर जाता हूँ. वापस से गांव वालों को बुला के, मतलब कि अगर कोई वहां पे इनकम सोर्स होगा तो लोग आ जाएंगे वहां पे वापस खेती वेती करने के लिए. अगर इनकम ही नहीं तो खेती से तो इतना होते ही नहीं, इनकम होते नहीं. तो जैसे कि अगर गांव एबेंडन हो गया तो जो वहां पे कम्युनिटी हॉल होता है वो सब भी एबेंडन हो जाता है. तो मेरा थोड़ा सा ये भी मिशन जैसा है कि जो स्कूल्स एबेंडन हुआ है, जैसे पड़ा हुआ है 10 साल से और कम्युनिटी हॉल पड़ा हुआ है, उनको हम रेट्रोफिट करके या कम्युनिटी सेंटर जैसा बना सकते हैं और रिट्रीट चला सकते हैं वहाँ पे, रेजिडेंशियल स्कूल चला सकते हैं हमें. तो वैसा कुछ करना चाहता हूँ. तो बहुत ज्यादा क्लैरिटी मिल जाएगी 3 दिन में. तो वही है. मैं थैंक यू.
क्लैरिटी 3 दिन में नहीं मिलेगा.
हाँ
क्लैरिटी उस रास्ते पे चलने से मिलता है. That means you have to start your journey, and as you keep walking, you will get the clarity. Right? So never think that by sitting aside and calculating and reading, analyzing, reading the experiences of others, everything, you will get clarity. You will get clarity only when you start walking the pathway.
और मतलब कि जो अब टूरिस्ट आ रहे हैं वो सिर्फ लेह में ही आ रहे हैं, तो पूरे हर गांव, मुझे लगता है कि गांव में जाना चाहिए उनको.
मेरे को एक सवाल है, ठीक है, एक घर सब बिगड़ गया तो रह गया तो फिर क्या फर्क पड़ता है? जैसे अभी हम पुराने कपड़े नहीं पहनते हैं, ट्रेडिशनल नहीं पहनते हैं आजकल, आप तो
क्या होता है कि
तो फिर उससे क्या हुआ?
गांव
Is there anything wrong? Anything wrong?
गांव एबेंडन हो रहा है तो मतलब लोग ले माइग्रेट हो जाते हैं सिटीज में.
तो क्या हुआ?
सिटी इतना होल्ड नहीं कर सकते, मतलब कितने कोई, मतलब अगर जमीन मिलेगा तो जो एक रीजन बताया, मतलब कि जो एक बच्चे का लर्निंग कब होता है वो तो गांव से स्टार्ट होता है. मतलब गांव में जो मतलब कि असली उनको एक इन्वायरमेंट मिल जाता है पढ़ने के लिए, तो वो नहीं मिलता है.
नहीं, आजकल के पेरेंट्स को तो बच्चे घर में रह जाएंगे, घर में रह के सीखेंगे बोलेंगे तो उनके लिए तो बहुत बड़ा हेडेक है, क्योंकि उनके पास टाइम नहीं है, वो खुद अपने करियर में बिजी है. सो स्कूल इज सीन एज एन आउटसोर्स, राइट? इट्स अ प्लेस टू आउटसोर्स योर टाइम एंड टाइम. तो तुम आप एकदम उल्टा बात कर रहे हो, क्या हो गया?
नहीं, तो मुझे नहीं लगता.
गांव गाले तो क्या हुआ?
नहीं, जो
आज मैं कुछ पता नहीं गूगल ने क्या सोचा है, 15 करोड़ में there is which can be bought in Spain for 15 crores. वो क्यों मेरे को दिखा रहा है पता नहीं, बट गूगल दिखा रहा है मेरे को एडवर्टाइजमेंट. तो इससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? वो वर्ल्ड वाइड बहुत सारे गांव बिगड़ गए. दैट्स द स्टोरी ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटी एंड हिस्ट्री, राइट? तो कुछ गांव बिगड़ जाएंगे, कुछ सिटीज आएंगे, कुछ चलेंगे, इसमें क्या बड़ी
तो लद्दाख का जो कल्चर है वो तो गांव में देखने को मिलेगा आपको, जो लेह में तो मिलेगा नहीं. लेह तो सिर्फ एज अ डेस्टिनेशन सेल्फी खींचने के लिए है. तो मुझे लगता है कि जो असली कल्चर वो तो गांव में ही आपको दिखेगा, जो असली लद्दाख है, रियल लद्दाख.
फिर भी मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया, बिकॉज वर्ल्ड वाइड ग्लोबलाइजेशन हो रहा है, बिकॉज वी वांट वन प्लैनेट, वन ह्यूमंस, वन नेशन. दैट इज व्हाट इज राइट. तो उसमें कल्चर मिक्स हो रहा है, सब लोग एक्सचेंज कर रहे हैं, देख रहे हैं, तो नया कल्चर एमर्ज हो रहा है. दिस इज अ कांस्टेंट प्रोसेस. तो पुराना कल्चर के साथ क्यों रहना है?
नहीं, जितना मतलब सिटीज की तरफ माइग्रेट होंगे उतना मुझे लगता है कल्चर भी थोड़ा डूबते जा रहा है, डिक्रीज होते जा रहा है.
So he's
कल्चर डूब नहीं जा रहा है. कल्चर मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि इज री इन्वेंटिंग इटसेल्फ एवरी टाइम.
कल्चर के लिए तो पूरा लद्दाख फाइट कर रहा है अभी तो 60G के नाम से.
So he's asking you these questions that you can delve more deep. Huh? Why?
Why are you interested in all these questions?
क्योंकि नहीं तो एक साल के बाद डिफिकल्टीज आएगा, यू विल अबैंडन इट. लेकिन जितना आप वाकई और जितना आप कन्विंस्ड होगे, देन यू विल गिव यू दैट इंटरनल एनर्जी.
Why this culture? Why this attachment to world culture? Why this attachment to village? Why we need to see that old communities? उसका आंसर होना है. उसका आंसर हार्ट से भी होना है और माइंड से भी होना है.
एक तो मतलब
ही इज नॉट सेइंग टू आंसर नाउ. यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट ना, कि अभी इट इज ऐसा लग रहा है कि आप अभी सोच के आए हो या थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस है, बट उसको और डीपन के, कि कुछ भी हो जाए इस बात से आपको कोई हिला नहीं सकता. उस व्हाट इज राइट.
फाइनली वो कन्विक्शन आना चाहिए बाहर. हम इतना सोच लिए कि कोई भी कुछ भी सवाल पूछे, कौन से भी डायरेक्शन से, उसका आंसर है व्हाई वी आर डूइंग दिस. उस लेवल का डीप अंडरस्टैंडिंग होना चाहिए कि जो भी काम हम कर रहे हैं, देन नोबडी विल डिस्टर्ब. नो फोर्स, एक्सटर्नल फोर्स विल डिस्टर्ब अस. वी विल बी ऑलवेज ऑन दैट पाथवे, बिकॉज वी आर ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर लेजी, राइट, बाय नेचर. हमको कुछ एक्सक्यूज चाहिए आज काम नहीं करने के लिए, राइट? कुछ ना कुछ एक्सक्यूज मिल जाता है. अरे मैंने सोचा सब्सिडी मिल जाएगा 2 करोड़ का, नहीं मिला तो छोड़ो, मेरा एंटरप्राइज बंद करो. ऐसे रहेंगे तो एंटरप्राइज आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा. अरे मैंने सोचा कि 4 फ्रेंड्स मेरे को हेल्प करेंगे, बट रियलिटी है कि एक भी फ्रेंड हेल्प नहीं कर रहा है, तो मैं क्यों करूं, मैं बंद करूं. So I said there will be hundreds of excuses lined up in our entrepreneurial journey. Very easy to close your enterprise. You will have 100 reasons why you have to close your enterprise. But there has to be one single solid reason why you actually continue this work. That has to originate both from your heart as well as your mind. With a deep conviction. Conviction is the word. Gitanjali ji जो use की है, conviction, that has to come. जब तक उसको आप आंसर नहीं करोगे, वो दिखेगा नहीं, आपके स्पीच में भी नहीं दिखेगा. It is not that you don't program. You cannot fake conviction. You cannot fake passion. You cannot fake it. It will come by itself. So until that वो why को answer करना है. हाँ? और मेरे जैसे लोग बहुत सारे लोग होंगे, cynical सवाल पूछ सकते हैं आप. Why we should have old culture? Why should we have?
Thank you.
Thank you.
See, ये सेशन सबका शेयरिंग इसलिए था क्योंकि आई एम श्योर हर एक से आपको कुछ सीखने को मिला, राइट? यस, कि हर एक के उससे हाउ टू फॉर्मुलेट योर ओन प्रॉब्लम. सो दैट इज द लर्निंग वी गॉट. सो
Okay. Now we can go to the
you want to conduct it? It'll be good. I'll help.
Why not plan myself? I usually don't take. Well, I can do it. But
Okay, no problem. Where's my laptop?
Okay, before she gets ready, I will talk about stories. Okay, simple stories, but we'll have powerful message, hopefully. There was a king. In olden times, you have kings, right? Monarchs. So there was a king. This king was well versed. He was well educated. He was well established. His kingdom was very good. People were happy in his kingdom. Everything was good. But he was feeling restless in his mind always. Okay, he was feeling restless always in his mind. And his minister asked the minister saying that, why am I so restless? If everything around me is very good, our kingdom is safe, we are wealthy, our people are also happy, everybody is happy, but I feel so restless. Why am I so restless? I am not able to solve this problem. So can you do a thing? Identify the very artist in our own camp and ask them to commission a painting which can explain or which can resolve the restlessness within me. Okay, 3 painters from the kingdom, and they were all commissioned to make painting. They were given all the facilities in the palace, and time of 1 month or 1.5 months. You are left alone. Nobody is going to disturb you. Prepare a painting which can solve the restlessness which is there in the king. So at the end of 1.5 months, there were 3 paintings which came out. The first painting is a beautiful lake which is still. You ever seen the lake? Are you able to see in your eyes? You are able to imagine a very still lake. Beautiful, pleasant, right? The sight of you standing beside the lake and observing the lake. Lake is very still. So this is the first painting. The second painting is more nearer to you, right? Is the snow-capped mountains. Okay. And the third painting is a painting of a tree which is besides a huge waterfall. The waterfall is very rapid. You can imagine it could be, there is India's Niagara in Chhattisgarh. Sometime you should visit. India's Niagara is in Chhattisgarh, very beautiful falls. It's called Chitrakoot waterfalls, right? And go there, something like that. A very ferocious waterfall which is there. Nearby that there is a tree. On the tree, there is a small nest, and within that small nest, there are two young birds which are peacefully sleeping. All the three paintings were put before the king. Which do you think would the king answers the king's restlessness? Huh?
The one with the tree.
Why?
Was, that even if there is restlessness around, you still be in peace with yourself.
Absolutely. This is the life of an entrepreneur. It can't be a still lake because lake is still at the top, but underlying it is the predators and preys and so many things like big fish, everything going on. So there's a lot of turmoil which goes out underlying the lakes, right? The second, it can't be a snowfall because it disappears with time, right? So what is this? When you want to overcome restlessness within yourself, it has to be something which is independent of what is happening around the world. So these two birds have figured out that irrespective of that kind of a ferocious waterfall, I can still have peaceful sleep. Right? So if you hit that, that is a zone which can create enterprises which are really impactful. So you have to ask constantly this question. I have to solve an restlessness within me first. If I resolve the restlessness within me, then I create an enterprise which is created out of a peaceful, harmonious, tranquil kind of a mind. Anything which is created out of that is going to be beautiful. Right? So you ask yourself the first question, am I peaceful? Am I in a zone where I am creating a beautiful thing? If you want to create beautiful things, you have to have a peaceful mind first. And that's the answer for the king. Okay, she's ready. I'll tell the second story after some time. For me, the journey is always inside out. It's not outside in. Please. The world is very clear. It has to be inside out. The more you do it yourself inside and you are able to solve the issues within yourself, the more beautiful things that you can create.
So, सबने स्टीव जॉब्स का नाम सुना होगा, everybody knows. तो किसी को पता है कि उसका प्रॉब्लम क्या था? जो हम आप आज अपना बिजनेस प्रॉब्लम्स ढूंढ रहे हैं, उसका क्या प्रॉब्लम था? इसके वजह से उसने आईफोन बनाया, उसके पहले मैकिनटॉशेस बनाए. नहीं?
कैलीग्राफी, फोन, जो फोन में यूज होता था वो.
तो he was also a college dropout. So first of all, let's celebrate all the dropouts. Okay. So उसका training था, he was a calligrapher. Okay. Calligraphy था. और उन दिनों में आप लोग सब मिलेनियल्स हो शायद, पहले जो कंप्यूटर्स होते थे उसमें सब C डॉट प्रॉम्प्ट देखा है किसी ने? डॉट 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 C डॉट प्रॉम्प्ट डॉट डॉट ऐसे आता था, है ना? तो उसका प्रॉब्लम था कि उसका जो ब्यूटीफुल कैलीग्राफी है वो कैसे कंप्यूटर में लाया जा सके, कि एक ही वो डॉट 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 है. सो एक्चुअली ही वाज द इन्वेंटर ऑफ विंडोज, व्हिच rumored that somehow some engineers went and joined Bill Gates and Bill Gates ने उसका नाम Windows रख दिया, but it was originally Steve Jobs who thought of कि the Windows he has so that so many fonts can be then done. And from there is born an altogether, different industry and everything. So, the next session जो हम करेंगे, if you want to have a break, tea break, are we having bio breaks?
Yeah, we have a tea break, but we'll serve it on the table soon.
हाँ. Okay, if anybody wants to have a bio break, we'll wait for a couple of minutes, otherwise we'll continue. So very close to जो इसके पहले का सेशन था, जो बिजनेस प्रॉब्लम आप आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हो, जो आपके अंदर से आ रहा है, हाँ, it has to be very closely linked with your purpose of life. Okay? Because what you are born to do, each one here is born to do something unique. Huh? You are all not some accidents of nature. Everybody is born to do something unique and काम देके भेजा गया है. और जो लोग खुश होते हैं वो होते हैं जो वो अलाइन कर पाते हैं जो उनका लाइफ का पर्पस है. ओके, जो लोग बहुत, आई एम नाउ गोइंग टू बी 50 दिस ईयर, मेरे बहुत सारे फ्रेंड्स हैं जो कि वर्ल्डली टर्म्स में दे आर वेरी वेरी सक्सेसफुल, like managing directors of JP Morgan, multinational companies के. And suddenly what did they do? कोई at 48, कोई at 49, they quit and कोई मैराथन शुरू कर दिया है, ट्रिपल मैराथन, कोई एक्टिंग शुरू कर दिया है, नो. Whereas प्रोफेशन का मतलब है एनीथिंग वी डू, उसका ऑपोजिट. इफ यू गो टू जापान, they have a term. किसी ने सुना ये term ikigai? So we did this, so it might be a repeat for you, Mr. Anzen, but we'll anyway do it. So Japan में term है ikigai, which means the purpose of your life. तो उसमें कोई retirement plan नहीं होता. उसमें कोई 45 साल में छोड़ के जो 45 साल तक कर रहे हैं वो जाके उस गिव अप करके और कुछ नहीं कर सकते. You can always reinvent yourself, but उसमें you take what you have done. तो जो मिड लाइफ क्राइसिस होता है कि आज तक मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, टाइम वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, वो सब नहीं होता उसमें. तो इकिगाई को फाइंड करना जो हमारा पर्पस है लाइफ का, तो हर एक का एक पर्पस होता है जिंदगी का, कोई भी बिना उस पर्पस के नहीं जिंदा है. तो हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम जो पहले जमाने का था वो ये था कि जब तक बच्चा गुरुकुल रहता था, गुरु उसको हेल्प करता था जानने को कि उसका इकिगाई क्या है बस, और हाउ टू एक्वायर द स्किल्स फॉर इट, और उसको छोड़ दिया जाता था. फिर वो रेस्ट ऑफ द लाइफ ही वाज जस्ट फुलफिलिंग हिज पर्पस. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट 1 hour we will do a short exercise, and KJ, it's inspired from one of your sessions earlier, the worksheet. So it is two words, iki and gai, which are Japanese words, which means iki is life or gai hai purpose. So pehle I want to have this feedback. Do you all believe that you are all unique? कि हर एक, each one of you will not be there. अगर जो आप कर सकते हो वो और कोई कर सकेगा, ऐसा कभी नहीं होता. Each one can do one thing which nobody else can do. So each of us is unique actually. And purpose of education होता है कि वो uniqueness find करके उसमें जाना. हाँ, और business और enterprise is an offshoot of that purpose. Okay, और जब तक वो enterprise उस purpose से aligned होगा, it can be, for instance, my ikigai is to, let's say, help others grow. Huh? So, but if I am in something else, in the army where I have to go and kill other soldiers, then that is opposite to my ikigai, right? So if my ikigai is to help others grow, then by definition, my profession becomes either being an educator, or my enterprise becomes, a university or something. So आपके ikigai is closely related to your professional life. And before we, what is the reason of being? So today in the next 1 hour, it takes time to find out. Maybe many lives, but today we'll make a start of how to find out what is my ikigai. And India में वो term, Japanese term है Swadharma. Okay, Swadharma is a Sanskrit word which means अपने धर्म में रहना. और ये धर्म आजकल रिलीजन बन गया है, बट उसका जो रूट है ध्री मतलब व्हाट होल्ड्स यू, कौन आपको पकड़ के रखता है, आपका वैल्यू सिस्टम जो आपको पकड़ के रखता है, ध्री इज दैट, धर्म इज दैट वैल्यू जो आपको लाइफ लॉन्ग पकड़ के रखता है, आपको सही रास्ता दिखाता है, ऑल द एक्शंस आर अराउंड इट। जैसे फॉर इंस्टेंस अगर मेरा इकिगाई है कि हेल्पिंग पीपल इवॉल्व, तो जब मैं एमबीए कर रही थी तो जो कंपनीज आते थे रिक्रूट करने के लिए, सबसे हाई पेइंग, कैन यू गेस कौन थे उन दिनों जब आईटी नहीं आया था अभी 96 में? The highest paying were alcohol companies. Okay. Now, some of my friends took it because it was a very high paying. But by the time they realized what they were doing, it was 10 years and they quit it. But for me, it was very clear that I cannot be in a business which does not match my value system because alcohol makes your nervous system weak. Okay. आजकल जितना भी ग्लैमराइज किया जाए या जितना भी इसको लाइफस्टाइल प्रमोट किया जाए, the fact of the matter is it does not help human evolution, it is human delusion, क्योंकि आपका नर्वस सिस्टम को धीरे धीरे वीक करता है। तो 10 ग्लास पीने के बाद जैसा आदमी चलता है वो आफ्टर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम वैसा होता है। सो इट वाज माय दैट वैल्यू सिस्टम स्वधर्म कि आई विल नॉट बी in narcotics industry, in alcohol industry. So that is how decisions are made when you have your swadharma. क्योंकि दिन भर आप क्या करोगे, एज मार्केटिंग से और जनों को सिगरेट पिलाया जाए, कैसे और बच्चों को और एज ग्रुप को, ह्यूमन एवोल्यूशन, यू कैन नॉट बी इन टोबैको कंपनी। सो finding out what is my ikigai is very important. So to start this, we'll quickly see a YouTube of a young girl who tries to discover her ikigai. It's for 5 minutes.
I have the pleasure to present to you the
We network by communicating effectively with grammar links, meet touch, key.
Ikigai, the Japanese secret to living a purposeful life. Originating from the island of Okinawa, where its residents have the highest life expectancy in the world. Once called the land of immortals, the UN states that Okinawa has the highest proportion of centenarians to date. These Okinawans live by a concept known as Ikigai. Iki translates to life, and Gai describes value. This term refers to the things that make one's life worthwhile. The reason you get out of bed every morning. Ikigai stands at the crossroad of 4 main qualities: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be rewarded for. The intersection between what you love and what you're good at is your passion. This is something that is truly meaningful to you, and you're willing to make sacrifices for. Adding to the picture, what the world needs is vital, as serving society gives us this sense of belonging and purpose. Finally, adding on what you can be rewarded for is essential to make a living out of your purpose. Now, finding your ikigai requires deep experimentation and self-exploration. By pursuing concrete actions and reflecting back thoughtfully, you can discover how your passion, mission, profession, and vocation all intersect to bring more meaning to you.
Okay.
Okay, so जब तक ये आता है, so ओकिनावा का किसी ने नाम सुना? Okinawa is in Japan, and I go there because I also learn martial arts. वहाँ पर every class, because Japanese teacher sensei, he is almost now 90, and every morning he comes to the dojo. Dojo is the practice place. Then I told him that you're already 19 and you are, he said, it's my ikigai. I love doing. So there's no retirement for what you love to do. If you love something, there's no 68 age or anything. You do it because that is your purpose of living. And that contributes to longevity. क्योंकि लंबा कोई कैसे जिएगा अगर fulfilled होगा. नहीं तो कुछ ना कुछ disease में convert हो जाता है. If you are unhappy, if you are अपना अंदर का दबा के जी रहे हो या कुछ और तो वो हेल्थ में भी नहीं रहेगा. So long and fulfilling life के लिए this is important, है ना? We'll continue.
And vocation all intersect to bring more meaning to your career and
What is it?
Yes. Even if the sound is big, then you can go on the level.
Huh?
चाय भी आ गया, ठीक मेरे करेंगे। गरम हो जाए तो चाय भी आ गया, ठीक मेरे दे दो। हाँ,
लेके जाना
उधर दोबारा से हो जाएगा.
to bring more meaning to your career and life. Take Steve Jobs, for example. He was the epitome of success in the technology field. But he wasn't passionate about computer hardware. He was passionate about the tools that would unleash his personal creativity. His curiosity and interest in calligraphy eventually became the inspiration for Apple's unique typography. By exploring your passions and interests, you can engage your mind in novel ways and discover your purpose, your ikigai. Not only will your ikigai help you live a more meaningful life. But it will also protect you from stress and illness. According to the American Psychosomatic Society, possessing a high sense of purpose in life is associated with a reduced risk for mortality and cardiovascular accidents. So those who feel purpose tend to live healthier lives and are more motivated and resilient. And I believe that each and every one of us has an ikigai. You just have to undertake a deep exploration of yourself to find it. But let me tell you now, it is not easy. It requires courage, determination, and a willingness to make sacrifices. In order for me to discover my ikigai, I first had to detach myself from my fears, negativity, and worries. I would often think, I'm too shy to make any contributions to society. And even if I do, who's actually going to care? What even is my purpose? I would constantly criticize myself and find faults with who I was and what I did. But after years and years of self-doubt and a lack of confidence, I realized that my only true enemy was myself, and that if this continues, I would never be able to experience and discover my full potential. So I tried convincing myself that my contributions do matter and that I do have a purpose. But I just couldn't seem to believe that. So that is when I decided to take concrete action that would build up the confidence inside of me and help me see what I am actually capable of. Although it took a lot of consideration and a lengthy list of pros and cons, I had joined an entrepreneurial program by the name Future Hack, a bootcamp designed for self-motivated leaders who strive to solve global issues. I stepped foot into the program with a shy personality, minimal experience in leadership, and the inability to comfortably express my ideas to others. But throughout the experience, I had met so many passionate, hardworking, and inspirational people. We worked collaboratively under a national project for educational innovation. It was the first time governors, teachers, and students of Japan had all come together to exchange ideas on how to reform the Japanese education system. Over 50 teachers and 50 students had attended this movement, while government officials watched over and actually took student ideas into consideration. It was astonishing to watch students and teachers interacting and pitching their own ideas to one another. And this new feeling of enthusiasm and ambition sparked the confidence inside of me. And I happily pitched my reformation ideas to the change makers themselves. By facing my fear and realizing that I am capable, I no longer felt scared or intimidated. I finally felt like my opinion truly did matter to people. And I developed this great drive to making a positive impact on society. I had uncovered my passion for design and entrepreneurship and built up this desire to continue expanding and exploring to further discover my true inner self. The great Dalai Lama has talked about my experience. With realization of one's own potential and confidence in one's ability, one can build a better world. Now, close your eyes. I am giving you this moment to ask yourself, what do you love? What are you good at? What can you be rewarded for? And what would you like to see change in this world? Now, open your eyes and open yourself to the opportunities that await you. I encourage you to branch out and take advantage of these opportunities, despite your insecurities. Keep your passion in mind. Let go of your fear. Go pursue that thing you've been holding yourself back for so long. Shift your mindset from things as obstacles and see them as opportunities. Eventually, your purpose may unfold. Go out and discover your ikigai. Thank you.
So ये 4 questions को भी हम आंसर करेंगे. What do you love? What are you good at? What can you be rewarded for? And what does the world need? क्योंकि अगर एक भी इसमें मिसिंग है ना, तो वो रियल नहीं निकलता. जैसे यू मे बी गिटार में बी योर पैशन, पर अब दिन भर घर में गिटार बजाते हो तो आपको भी कभी लगेगा कि दुनिया को इससे क्या फायदा हो रहा है. How you? Maybe when you start teaching, let's say, what the world is, maybe a child, then you discover that. But what does the world need? Does it need guitarists? Maybe. So you expand, right? And that's how you finally come to your true purpose. Maybe it is music. Maybe it is healing that the world needs. Or maybe it needs better music. So it takes time to find your ikigai. And when all these four come together, because you have to love what you're doing. The inner energy that KG said, inner energy जो आता है, that comes from what do you love doing. मतलब आपको पैसे भी नहीं मिल रहे हैं, दुनिया भी रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं कर रही है, फिर भी वो कौन सी चीज है जो आप सुबह उठ के करना चाहते हो? ऐसा कुछ है? कुछ है पीके? क्या है? सपोज आप सुबह उठ के क्या करने का, चाहे वो दुनिया उसको एक्सेप्ट करे नहीं करे, कुछ ऐसा है? क्या है? कोई शेयर करना चाहेगा?
Every day at 4:30 in the morning, I used to wake up. At 5 o'clock, I used to take my motorcycle and go to India Gate. Just made me happy every day. For years, I've done this. I used to ride my bike and also take a cup of coffee with me in a place. Just sit there, look at the place because it was so beautiful to look at, and come back. So it had become a joke in my friend's fraternity that it seems he owns a part of land there, so he goes to do chowkidari there in the morning.
Thank you. So he loves to go on a motorcycle to India Gate. Great, right? It makes him happy. Can he make a living out of it?
People pay for it? No. Do people make fun of it? Yes. So usually it is like that. Things which people don't appreciate, they will make fun of it, they will not pay for it. But still, if you want to do it every day, consistently, that's what you love.
So Rahul will keep your that thing and will integrate it to how you can find a purpose around it, something that you love. So हमने क्या कर लिया लाइफ का, जैसे सिटीज में we somehow money earn कर, ठीक है, वीकेंड को what you love doing वो करो, क्योंकि हमारे पास वो काम नहीं है जिसमें जो would we love doing we can make money out of it also. तो हम लाइफ को कंपार्टमेंटलाइज कर देते है ना. तो इसमें हम बट इकिगाई इज कि दैट वन थिंग, और ऐसा है हर एक की लाइफ में, दैट वन थिंग व्हिच विल द वर्ल्ड नीड्स, you love to do, you can be paid for it, and you're good at it. There is, and by the end of the session, we'll at least have that first version 1.0 draft of each of your ikigais. Huh? And there is a nice worksheet. We'll go through that step by step. Before that, why ikigai is important is because aimless life is always a miserable life. Huh? And by aimless, I even mean people जिन्होंने यूनिकॉर्न 30 साल में लटा दिया. यूनिकॉर्न पता है आपको? $1 billion वैल्यूएशन. जिसने 30 साल में बना दिया और बेच दिया, वो भी मिजरेबल होगा, बिकॉज वो लाइफ का एम बहुत मिजरेबल है. What we find, it was not the right, but जो दुनिया ने उसको उनको बताया कि ये सक्सेस है, उन्होंने वो चेज करके अचीव किया, बट दैट वाज नॉट व्हाट दे वर फॉर. You know any example?
Lots of people. See, nowadays, why is it a requirement for second career? Like at 40 years, they say that we have earned enough now. I have to do something. अभी घर के लिए कर दिया, पैसे बना लिया. I have to do something for myself. They use this word, I have to do something for myself. So what is it that they are trying to do is they want to come out of the misery. Because until 40, 45 years, they've pursued misery, slavery, a lot of things. Like, for example, even my own batchmates, they come from a good institute. The world is asking them that you have to quickly have one house of your own or two houses of your own. You should have a car. And therefore, they get into a good corporate job and also borrow money up to 1 crore, right? Because you want one good house, 50 lakhs, 40 lakhs, big cities, less one car, another 50 lakhs, 20 lakhs. So you end up having 1 crore and you start your career. So if you ask them any day, yeah, your life is different. You had the courage to pursue what you want in your life. हम लोग तो we are slaves to the cars and flats that we are trying to pursue. So that is the misery that people pursue for up to 40 years. They think it's a compartment to first pursue material wealth and then pursue what you love and what you like in your life. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. It's because you have already damaged your health, you have spoiled your entire life system, life cycle, lifestyle, everything has got disturbed during this first 20, 25 years. Then it's very difficult to undo it. So what I'm saying is, how do I build a lifestyle which is very smooth, which is in sync with what you want completely? And the world is also wanting it, right? And there, I think the insight which Sonam gave in the morning is very important. The world can give you enough for your needs, and you have to be happy with that. If you want, if your needs is defined only as material, that too only in money, then you are already damaging. You will have a terrible life. Nobody, we don't need examples from big people. Our own life will be like that. But if our life is very clear, saying that money is just an instrument, it has to be with, to an extent, only to take care of your life and your family needs, immediate family needs. Beyond that, it doesn't have any role, but you pursue what you believe deeply or passionately, what you love, you will see that there is a very little amount of stress in your life. You will be very happy with your life, right? And that's the secret for longevity. 100 years. They're all saying that 100 years. The secret of longevity is not having any stress. And stress comes because of this dissonance which are there. There are multiple contradictions. I love traveling, going on a bike, but I am actually in a computer sitting and typing out codes day in and day out. So there's a stress. So there is a stress in the choices, the different choices that we are making. The lesser the number of uh, contradictions, the greater the peaceful life.
So,
That's what they're trying to say.
so what is a life of aim? Aimless life मतलब हम वर्ल्ड ने जो डिफाइन किया है हमने वो परस्यू किया, हमने अंदर का खुद का नहीं पता कि एम क्या है. So what should be our aim? So the quality of our life depends on the quality of our aim. Remember this. And the more high and wide and generous your aim is, disinterested means you're not living only for yourself, you're living for others. The more will your life be precious to others and to yourself. This is very opposite to what the whole system teaches us. कोई भी MBA में जाओ, कहीं भी जाओ, the final aim is placement, right? किसी तरह से placement is the aim, but we are telling you the opposite thing here. And everybody here who's saying is saying from experience. You know, we are alternative, ना? तो इसमें भी we have an alternative aim. कि वो जो you start with an aim which is high and generous, and build your life according to it, and you'll have a fulfilled life, and both money and fame will come to you, follow you. Okay. So I don't know if I can reveal, but we have an example here in Sonam Wangchuk, who I think for what he was saying, na, Kurd, while 80% of the time, I think he was building up Sekmol and all of that. And I was told that for a long period, his monthly expenses were like 4,000, 5,000 rupees. He was taking a salary of 8,000. Today, he's invited to the who's who world of Google and Amazon to invite him for motivational talks because he lived his ikigai. Can you guess what he gets paid for 1 hour? Any guesses? For a 1 hour talk, how much does Sonam Wangchuk get paid?
1 CR.
It may reach there, but it is 15 lakhs. And this is what top liver transplant surgeons earn maybe in 3 months. And he gets to fly in business class, stay in all 5-star hotels. You cannot have a better material life than that. Huh? But is that what he pursued to start with? Yes or no? No. There are many who pursued that and today are in a very different situation. There are heart attacks these days at the age of 30, 35, health-wise. Okay, misery, unhappy, they look old. So that is what this is trying to say that, and we are saying it from experience. I don't want to talk about my life, but we are saying it from experience that if you follow your purpose and your dream, it's a difficult journey in the beginning, as KG said, but then your life will be on an exponential rise. And that's more important at 40 who you have become. You know, because at 20, we all have the energy. At 40, if you're down here, it is difficult to get up. So it is important to build till 40 correctly. Huh? So, see, you may wonder why is this going to give me the seed capital for my business, this ikigai? No, I had come here to get seed capital, no, for your business, and they're making us do ikigai. Because unlike a normal start pitching, जहाँ पर just pitching होता है, they just have a one-day event where 100 people come और वो pitch करते हैं because they are about quantity. ना? वो 100 business ideas से वो 10 को fund करेंगे ताकि 2 successful हो because they are not interested. But here it is a workshop come pitching. Here we are not about numbers, but each one of you that is here, we want you to have a very successful life which is also meaningful. Huh? So that is why this session. We will also have your business plans and all that sessions, but this is the base from where we start. So everyone has a notebook. Please have a notebook and keep this with you, and since some of you have done this before, it will be interesting to compare it with that and to also see whether it has deepened your understanding. Okay, so everybody make list 1. आप उसको नाम दीजिए list 1. और जो भी आप आंसर करिए व्हाट एम आई गुड एट. ओके, सो जितने भी आपके स्किल्स और स्ट्रेंथ्स, इट कैन बी फॉर इंस्टेंस नेटवर्किंग, okay, making friends with strangers, even that you can put, not just technical skills, but what am I good at, you have to answer. आप भी कर दो. मे भी आपका एक ही का ही निकलेगा, communication नहीं निकलेगा. Do it if you're here.
You can write several things. I drive well. Driving can be a big thing. Not always hard skills, only mathematics or science or engineering or design.
Cooking you can write.
You can write cooking, you can write
Gardening.
music. What are you looking at? What are you good at? Some people are very good storytellers. You can be storytellers. Some people are good imaginators. You can write that.
Yeah, you can say singing also if you're good at it. Playing any instrument.
Another session, I'm not listening.
Very nice and interesting. I'm very happy to see.
Some people have a good sense of direction, no? Good map reading.
Yes.
That can be a skill.
The laptop requires charging. One test for saying that you're good at it means that you repeatedly practiced it. So ask yourself, what are the things which you repeatedly practice? Nobody is forcing you, but you're practicing yourself. That will tell you what you are good at.
How many of you go to the market and get the price, get something at half the price? Yeah, so you can write that it is negotiation.
Negotiation. That's part of negotiation. Some people have good observation power. That's also very cool, right? If you have very good observation power, and you should practice. Again, I'm using this word. When you say you're good, it means that you're practicing it regularly. If you have good observation power, you will practice it. You will keep observing people, observing things. Then you'll see that you will have a very different kind of thing. Yes. Oh, of course. It's a high-paying profession. See, the world is people at one level. All those who are experts in certain things, they all get paid equally well. A good cook, a good, anybody in any profession usually gets. If you are really a good expert, you get paid equally well.
How many of you, suppose आप एयरपोर्ट पे रेलवे स्टेशन पे बैठे हो, वेट कर रहे हो उनका, और आपके साइड में जो बैठा है उसके साथ आप बात करना शुरू कर देते. So that's a skill of meeting new people.
Building interpersonal skills. So that's, again, as you practice it more and more, your interpersonal skills will be very good. Your conversations will be good. The way you can talk to them, the way you can listen, all of that will be different.
कोई आपका फ्रेंड आके आपको कुछ बताता है उसका प्रॉब्लम, आप कितना पेशेंटली सुन पाते हो. These are listening skills. Empathy. तो प्रोफेशन जो होता है ना, क्यों हम ये लिस्ट कर रहे हैं, कोई भी जो प्रोफेशन है, it is a combination of several skills. You know? So जैसे suppose आप lawyer हो, तो उसमें you should have good communication skills, then you should have good logical thinking skills, है ना? Then you should have ability to negotiate because you're arriving at a situation. तो कोई भी जो प्रोफेशन है, जितना हाई होगा वो उतना ज्यादा स्किल्स का कॉम्बिनेशन होगा. तो हमारा जो इकिगाई भी है, अगर हम जब बिल्ड कर रहे हैं तो वी आर बिल्डिंग बॉटम अप. तो हम अगर ऐसा हम कोई काम कर रहे हैं जिसमें दिन भर हम अपने सारे स्किल्स यूज कर पा रहे हैं, then we'll have a very happy life, you know, and also we will be more efficient at what we do. You have, और जब आप हायर भी करोगे पार्टनर को, या अगर आपको पता है ये, then you can hire a partner who has complex skills. जैसे एक जगह अगर टेक्निकली अच्छा, तो then you know that you are very shy, you can't do marketing, then you can get that partner, or you can recruit. So it is important to understand all the skills that we have when you're building a business also. लिख लिया सबने? ठीक है, we'll go to the next one. Okay, ये सब आ गया, but only focus on step 2. List 2 बनाइए उसको, and it's important you give titles, नहीं तो बाद में confusion हो. इसमें list 1 लिखा सबने फर्स्ट में, list 1, और अच्छी हैंडराइटिंग में लिखना, खुद ही नहीं समझ पाओगे तो प्रॉब्लम होगा, because you have to refer to those lists. Okay, list 2 is what do I love doing. Okay. So सारे आपके इंटरेस्ट क्या हैं? पहले वाले थे स्किल्स. बहुत चीजें हैं जिसमें वी आर नॉट गुड एट, बट वी लव डूइंग. So what you love doing can be in these three: think, I mean, create. So what you love creating, building, or doing?
So most often used word love. Can anybody define? Quickly. I thought Hindi movies are made about love only, right? It's often explored, so well explored. What is love? We will save some time because if you want, I can actually debate on this for an hour or two to question on this. What's love? But we'll save time in 2 minutes. Let us close this. What is love? That's important to understand before you write. What's love? Huh? What?
Attachment.
Attachment. Okay, that's difficult to answer. Can you give an example of pure love? Example of pure love in the world? Huh? Mother and child. 99% of the people will first talk about this. Mother and child. What is it in it? What is it in it which is defined as love? Huh?
Unconditional giving.
Yes. So that's the answer. Love is defined as act of unconditional giving. Even in mother and child, the moment it becomes like a mother becomes controlling the child, like, you should not do this, you should not do this, the child start rebelling, right? Then there is a fight. So that's not a peaceful place. So what is that part which is where what we all love is the part where the child is receiving it fully, accepting it, and the mother is also giving what the child is asking unconditionally. That is the part. So love is defined as the act of giving unconditionally. The act of giving unconditionally without an expectation. So you reflect in your life, what is it that I give things unconditionally without any expectations? That will give.
Where do you put your energies without any expectation of any return in your life? What are the things that you do for just the pure joy of doing?
Joy of doing it. It's just the joy. So then the mother gets up in early in the morning at 2 o'clock because the child is asking for food or is crying. She doesn't complain. She doesn't complain about that. She's only worried about why the child is this way. Right? So that's the kind of thing. You don't complain about anything. You don't feel tired. You don't feel any of these things when you do. When you do things out of love, you don't feel pain. You don't feel tired. You don't feel exhausted. Nothing happens.
Kuch hai? Yes, sir. What is it that you love?
Difficult. Don't engage with things so deeply. But once we engage, it's deeply no pain, nothing will stop. Like, for example, I give often the example to my own son that a person from Ladakh has to go for walking to 10 kilometers in mountains. We don't think twice, right? It's not a big issue. But for us, from East, walking 2 kilometers is also a very big tough thing. So how does the pain appear? Does it mean that it is effort? Yeah, it's of course an effort to travel 10 kilometer walk, that too on hilly terrain. But we are able to do it so easily. How do we do it? Because the thresholds change. So when you are in love with a particular thing, thresholds change. The threshold of pain, the threshold of exhaustion, exertion, all those things, effort, everything changes automatically.
The other way to answer is also, one is you don't feel exhausted and tired and all. The second is what you love to gives you instant energy. Having done it, like whole day, you may for 10 hours, at the end of the day, you'll feel energetic. That is what you love to do. And usually, it is one of the things is creativity. यहाँ पर कितने जन हैं जो artists हैं या कुछ हैं? Is it true? Like when you created something, even if you spend 10 hours, at the end of it, you get energy. Creativity is one of those things that give you energy.
Done. I think the second list.
Maybe it will help if, just me, I love building organizations. So, 7 baje subah se bhi, when even I was, I had a hospital and I used to run it, very tough business. But raat ko 11 baje bhi, I would go out full of energy. I would have driven all the way from Chennai 3 hours subah, started the office at 8, finished at 10 or 11 in the night, but I would be going onto the beach in Pondicherry full of energy. Because a lot of building, organizational building would have. So it can be even such things like building things, creating. So this think, build, do, doing certain things. It could be some people, even after पूरा week उनका बहुत tough रहा हो, वो orphanages में जाके they spend the weekend. Orphanages में जाके वो पढ़ाते हैं या कुछ करते हैं. So doing, that is doing. Okay. You go and volunteer your time. Another way to answer this question is, where would you like to go and volunteer your time? Volunteering matlab you don't get back anything in return, money or anything, right? Same. It is just for the joy of giving. So what would you like to volunteer for?
Some people like cleaning as an activity. They just keep cleaning things.
Yeah, my mother is one of them. When she's upset or angry, she'll open one big cupboard and take out all the clothes and put it back again. And at the end of organizing things, you know.
They like that cleaning is actually giving time for them, mental peace, to clear mind also. So that's why they keep cleaning.
जो भी हम एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का कर रहे हैं प्रोजेक्ट, उसमें अगर एक कंपोनेंट ऐसा नहीं है जो भी डोंट लव डूइंग, तो वो इंटरनल एनर्जी खत्म हो जाएगा. So it's part of what you do larger thing. Next slide, shall we? No. Yeah.
What is the word?
Okay, now go through list 1 and 2. Okay, and make a heading called passion. So passion is a combination of skill and interest. What I am good at and what I love doing is my passion in life. Okay. Abhi go through both the lists and try to find out क्या उसमें तो कॉमन ये नहीं होगा कि दोनों में एक कॉमन होगा, एक बड़ा आइडिया होगा जिसमें दोनों आ सकेंगे, उसको कॉमन बोलते है ना. So one example could be any example case of a passion which combines skill and interest.
Okay. So I am good at speaking and organizing my thoughts and communicating them, right? And I love teaching and training. So the thing which combines these two is the ability to communicate and speak. And on the other side, I love teaching. I don't bother people, respect me, don't respect me, give me money, don't give me money, whatever it is, I still keep doing. Teaching is my love. So when I combine this, that my ability to speak, right, which I'm good at, combines with my love to do teaching, and therefore I excel in it. That's why they see that I'm a passionate teacher. Right? Why? Because I can communicate things with a lot of clarity, and I can also, but I love, and also I don't get exhausted teaching people for hours together. I don't feel like this. And that gets reflected that, when people see me, they say, you don't get exhausted even after 10 hours of speaking. Where does this energy come? It comes out of the passion, right? That's involved in those. So that is how it really reflects. So you can actually combine what you are good at with what you love to do. And then you will see a profession that will emerge, which is going to take care of that. This combination.
So you may be very good at guitar, okay? And you may love to make music, okay? So your passion is to make music, okay? But so far, you don't know the other things, like whether the world needs your music or not, okay? Or
Just a little bit of modification. You guitar, and you love being with children. Okay.
yeah, so this is another way how you can get a higher thing that combines.
Yeah. So then you be with children, and you love to play. You are good at guitar. Use that as a combination, right? In a kindergarten school, you start a kindergarten school, where you use both your guitar as well as you're able to do your love to be with children is also there, and you'll see that your school will be totally different. It'll have a different energy because that comes out of passion. Yeah. Possible? How many such kind of ideas have you figured out for business? Anybody? Any examples? You should try. Otherwise, how do you fine tune it? Yes. Should I ask Tenzin? Did you figure out? You're doing second time. Ikigai.
No, actually, I was.
Okay, somebody from there. Yes, please. Go ahead.
This one है Stefan. तो उसमें हमें list down करना है कि what I'm good at. So I'm good at designing.
Listen to her, please.
Cooking and artwork and hands-on work, learning new things and listening. And second step is like कि मैं क्या करना है. So it's same like physical model making, which is like architecture related to architectural everything, designing, again cooking, hands-on work, artwork, and creating new things. And third is passion. So
What is the ones which are combining these two?
a good designer or artist, एक अच्छा architect बनना.
So we are halfway through. कोई ऐसा है जिसका दोनों सेम आ रहा है? कर्षा का सेम आ रहा है कि what she is good at, she loves doing it. और किसी का सेम है? क्या है आपका? What you are good at and what you love doing?
I think good endurance for games. I think I'm good at that, and I love doing it.
Yeah, sports. You are both good at it and you love doing it. So it's already a very happy place where you're good at something and you enjoy doing it. कोई ऐसा है जो what you're good at but you hate doing it? I know many people who are chartered accountants and they're very good at it, but they hate going through that
Vouchers.
daily vouchers, देख के check करके वो करना, you know.
A lot of people, even like for example in cooking, I love cooking, but I know somebody has to do masala has to be grounded, it has to be originated from something. It's like too much. Sometimes it becomes too much to your head.
So you may be good at cooking, but
yeah.
you may not be enjoying
Yeah.
putting all the things together,
Yeah.
right? So it's important to know that I'm good at it and I don't enjoy doing it. Therefore, what do you do in a business? You hire that skill or you partner that skill. Okay? It's important to know because you can't go through the drudgery if you don't like it. A person who cannot go through vouchers cannot be a good CA. You know? Some people are brilliant engineers in terms of how they think of ideas, but they hate to go to that lathe machine and to
Execute things.
prototype it. So there are two ways out. One is if you're lifelong learners, you better learn those skills and start enjoying to be good at. Okay? Or you find a partner or an employee who does it for you. There is no third way out. Any other example? Something you love doing, but you're not good at it? Opposite. A lot of us want to dance Bollywood dances, no? They look so beautiful. Or a lot of us, many of us love dancing, right? But we may not be good at it. We have not trained for it, no? So if you love doing something, then you have to train to be good at it.
I'm good. I love listening music, but I can't sing.
Yeah. So a lot of us are bathroom singers, right? We all love to sing, but we are not good at it. So can we make a profession out of that?
No.
So we have to be good at it, right? So both are important. To be good at something and to love it. If you're good at something and you don't love it, it will be drudgery. You cannot go for hours. If you love something, you're not good at it, you can anyway not do it well. Okay. So your passion is built on those two. कोई example आप कह सकते हो? He has that passion. Anybody? बहुत जने आप, you know, many artists. There are many artists. If you go to their houses, there will be like hundreds of paintings made and kept, not sold, nothing. So it's a passion to make art and keep it. So is it helping their livelihood? So passion alone, is it enough? No, no. So you can be a very passionate singer and whole day you're singing and making music, but the world does not know about it. Right? So we'll go to the third step. To make sense of your passion, you need to know what the world needs. Okay? Now, this is a very tricky question. The world is a very big place और उसकी needs बहुत बड़ी हैं. Climate change से लेके, you know, population control. So when we say what the world needs, जिसका मतलब है कि वो कौन सा एरिया है जहां इम्पैक्ट कर सकते हैं. ओके, इधर कोई जैसे सुबह तेजी ने बोला कि इट्स नॉट अ बिग यू नो थिंग ऑफ प्रॉब्लम दैट यू आर डूइंग. जो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग हम कर रहे हैं वो दुनिया का बड़ा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, तो हमने जो फेस किया है वो. सो सिमिलरली टू आंसर दिस व्हाट द वर्ल्ड नीड्स, इट इज डोंट फोकस ऑन लार्ज थिंग्स कि दुनिया में जेंडर इक्वालिटी होना चाहिए, वो सब होना चाहिए, but we can't be impacting the whole world. So when you write this answer, focus on what is it that you can make a change in.
Small change.
What you can impact. Can you make a list of what is it that you think the world needs to change? Or where you can make a change? अपनी लाइफ में अपने एग्जाम्पल से अपने एक्सपीरियंस, जैसे Stanzin, you may need that the world needs to have more opportunities for kids to find out express their sports potential, right? So that could be your thing, that the world needs it, where you can contribute or make a change. You can
The world requires physical fitness. Overall, the humanity requires physical fitness.
And you may want to have a world that makes tourism more responsible, right? Have a world where people live comfortably, or there's less waste. And it is. So what is it that the world needs and where you can contribute? So that is, you will marry your passion and earn a livelihood out of it. Now, जो ये आपका list 3 था, हाँ? List 3 था ये, what the world needs. Now you look at your list 2 and list 3, and that is your mission. Okay? You know, the difference between passion and mission is, passion आपका घर में आप बैठ के कर सकते हो. Okay? वो दुनिया को कुछ impact नहीं करता. पर mission है कि you love it and you're going out there to make a change. So that's your mission. Okay? So I love children and the world needs more love. So my mission is to set up an orphanage or go every Sunday to a place where there are orphanages and give children food. That's your mission. Okay? You love children and the world needs love. Children need love. So you go every week. Okay? So it's not just your passion that you are. So you may be good at guitar. Okay? You love children and the world need this. So your mission becomes that you go to your orphanage and spend time with children. It has nothing to do with your guitar skills. Your missions. Okay?
Or guitar can be started using, right? Once you go to the school, orphanage, and you spend time with the children, teaching even guitar.
Yeah, so that's when you combine that.
Yes.
So बहुत जने दुनिया में मिशन के स्टेज पे हैं. They love something or they want to do it. The world needs it. कुछ examples हैं आपके मिशन के? So जितने भी ये लोग चैरिटी करते हैं ना, पूरा चैरिटी जो है वो मिशन होता है कि I love the environment and the world needs more greenery. So this much of my income profit I will give towards that. So there is no way you can make money out of it. Okay. It is not something you may not be great at planting trees yourself. Okay, but you make it happen as a mission. Okay, so that's the difference between passion and mission. Rigzin, are you doing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mission. So mission is to give back to society. Okay. So the world needs something and you love something. So you go and volunteer, you contribute, you give back to the world. That is your mission. Okay. आप क्या contribute करना चाहते हैं? Now we'll go to the next step. अभी आप लिस्ट 4 लिखिए. लिस्ट 4 है कि what all can you be paid for. अभी तक आपने जो भी किया, you are not earning any money, है ना? It is your passion, it is your mission, but who is paying you for it? So far, you are not earning any money out of what you love, what the world needs, and what you are good at. So now you have to write down what can you be paid for. जो जो आपको आता है. For each of your skills, you can be paid for, right? You can go and teach and be paid for. There are many things that the world needs, and you can have a skill for it. You can go and do it. So just write down all the things you think you can earn money out of in your life. कोई बता सकता है, one of you, what all can you be paid for? No, don't write such things. Your life, what you can be paid for, what services. This has to be very much.
You can be paid for smelling perfumes.
This is straight away, like chota. Huh? He can go a day with any of the tourists and take their pictures and give them. He can be paid for it, right? Or Utkarsha, somebody can ask you to make a model. You can make and be paid for it. So it is very transactional. It has nothing to do with your value system, what you love, what the world. I mean, no. It is what skill you have. You can be paid for it. So now you combine list 3, what the world needs and what you can be paid for. And that is your vocation. Okay, vocation होता है कि हमको कुछ आता है. किसी ने बोला, जैसे यूएस में when you are a student, बच्चों मोस्टली बच्चों के पास पैसे नहीं होते. तो कोई कहता है कि हमारे घर आके हमको बेबी सिटर की जरूरत है. 1 घंटा बेबी सिटर का $100. तो बहुत बच्चे जाके बेबी सिटिंग करते हैं. हाँ, वर्ल्ड नीड बेबी सिटर, दे आर गुड विद इट, दे डू इट, दे गेट दैट मनी, ट्रांजैक्शन खत्म हो गया. या बहुत बच्चे आके रेस्टोरेंट्स में वेटर्स बनते हैं, स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं, यू नो. सो इट इज शॉर्ट टर्म ट्रांजैक्शनल. दुनिया को क्या चाहिए, आपको पास वो है एंड यू आर गेटिंग द मनी. पर इसका प्रॉब्लम क्या हो सकता है? शॉर्ट टर्म. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू नो C प्लस या इनिशियल जो कोडिंग था? बहुत कोडर्स थे. कैन यू यूज, कैन यू गेट पेड फॉर इट नाउ? टेक्नोलॉजी हैज चेंज्ड.
डेटाबेस मैनेजर.
ओके, तो वर्ल्ड की नीड्स चेंज हो सकती हैं और आपके पास जो स्किल है वो इट्स नॉट वैलिड एनीमोर. ओके, सो इट इज वेरी शॉर्ट टर्म वोकेशन जो है. तो जो हम बिजनेस शुरू करेंगे, अगर आज ये दुनिया को चाहिए ये टूरिज्म प्रोडक्ट और हम ये कर रहे हैं, तो ठीक है 1-2 साल चलेगा, बट इट इज नॉट लॉन्ग टर्म. इसीलिए जस्ट इस पे बेस करना इज मायोपिक विजन. जस्ट आज का हम सोच रहे हैं, लॉन्ग टर्म नहीं सोच रहे. बहुत स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो कॉल सेंटर में जॉब ले लेते हैं. आपने सुना है कॉल सेंटर? वो जो हेलो हाउ आर यू, हाउस में आई हेल्प यू, उनको जितना भी डांटो बोलेंगे थैंक यू, प्लीज टेल अस व्हाट वी कैन डू, दे विल नॉट सॉल्व योर प्रॉब्लम. बट बहुत बच्चे 12th के बाद इजी मनी, दे गेट पेड वेरी हाई, 25,000 से शुरू होता है, तो बहुत जने वो ले लेते हैं. बट देन विद इन 5 years there's no career growth after that. वो उतने में स्टक रहते हैं, यू नो. सो वोकेशन का ये प्रॉब्लम है कि आप स्किल्स अगर आप अपग्रेड नहीं करते हैं, या दुनिया की जब नीड चेंज हो जाती है, देन यू आर आउट ऑफ बिजनेस. सो दैट वाज लिस्ट 3 and 4. नाउ द लास्ट थिंग इज प्रोफेशन. सो वोकेशन और प्रोफेशन में ये फर्क होता है. तो जो आपका लिस्ट 1 था स्किल, ओके, उसको एक बार देखिए. व्हाट आर योर स्किल्स एंड व्हाट कैन यू बी पेड फॉर? तो जैसे यू आर अ ग्रेट सर्जन, है ना, आपके पास स्किल है सर्जरी का और दुनिया में चाहिए सर्जरी, सो यू आर प्रोफेशनली अ डॉक्टर. सो जितने भी प्रोफेशंस हैं, लॉयर्स, डॉक्टर्स, एजुकेटर्स, कोचेस, ये सब एक स्किल पे बेस्ड है और यू कैन बी पेड फॉर दैट. लेकिन प्रोफेशन में क्या मिसिंग होता है? या व्हाट यू लव डूइंग, उसमें नहीं है कुछ. यू मे बी गुड एट समथिंग, जैसे मैंने कहा CA है ना, गुड एट इट एंड गेट्स पेड, तो वो जिंदगी भर CA का नौकरी करते हैं या काम करते हैं, बट नाइदर, जो बाकी के दो इसमें नहीं है. व्हाट द वर्ल्ड, व्हाट इन द वर्ल्ड यू कैन मेक एन इम्पैक्ट, वो नहीं है, एंड व्हाट यू लव डूइंग नहीं है. तो इसीलिए आफ्टर अ पॉइंट प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में लोगों को बोर्डम होता है, क्योंकि यू आर नॉट कंट्रीब्यूटिंग एंड मेकिंग एन इम्पैक्ट इन द वर्ल्ड. खाली आपका स्किल यूज करके आप जॉब करते हो या काम करते हो, यू अर्न द मनी. तो जब तक ये चारों को हम इसमें कंबाइन नहीं करते हैं, वी विल हैव सम ऑफ द अदर प्रॉब्लम. जैसे आप जो दुनिया को चाहिए और आपको जो अच्छा लगता है, यू आर गुड एट, यू आर डूइंग इट, बट यू आर नॉट बीइंग पेड फॉर इट, देन यू विल बी वेरी हैप्पी बट नो वेल्थ, राइट? For instance, you know people who write poetry in the newspapers and all, the articles, है ना? So some of them, unless you become like R.K. Lakshman, who's very celebrated, most of them, I mean, the world needs it. Those articles, they write it, they're good at it, they love doing it, but they don't get much paid for it. So there is a line which says, all great poets in their misery dead. You're a great poet, but you are poor, you know? So you have a lot of delight, you're very happy, creativity hai, but you don't have wealth. Similarly, what the world needs, आप कर रहे हो. What you can be paid for and what you love, आप कर रहे हो. But वो आज world की need है और आपको पसंद है, but you're not good at it. तो हमेशा you will have this insecurity कि कल मेरे से better कोई आ जाएगा. I'm not good at it, somehow मेरे पास आज ये job है या ये काम है, but tomorrow, like for instance, आपने यहाँ travel agency शुरू कर दी, कोई यहाँ competition नहीं है, you're doing something. But if you're not good at it, tomorrow somebody better may come, and so you'll always have that insecurity that I'm not good at it. So it's important to keep getting good at things and also to be in that thing which you're good at. Then we'll go to the next one. Ki you are good at something, you love it, and you can be paid for it. But वो कुछ impact नहीं कर रहा है. जैसे क्या? For instance, you are a maybe football coach. Okay? वो आप neighborhood में एक बच्चों को you love football and you're good at it. आपको वो 300 per month बच्चे दे रहे हैं, है ना? बहुत जने ऐसे हैं ना, सिर्फ football coaches. But there is a
feeling of emptiness.
Yeah.
The achievement is not there.
Unless you take your team to the next level and you make them state players or something. आप एक ठीक है छोटे से उसमें कर रहे हो. So there's a feeling of emptiness कि मैं कुछ impact नहीं कर रहा हूँ. और वो बच्चे भी एक साल, वो जो नहीं होता आजकल चेन्नई वगैरह में, दिल्ली में, सब पेरेंट्स सब बच्चों को हर क्लास में डाल देते हैं. वो 6 महीने के बाद उधर से निकल के दूसरी क्लास में जाते हैं, दूसरी क्लास में. तो ये कोच हर महीने नए नए बच्चे आ रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं, So he's making money, जो भी है. He is also loving it. He loves and he's good at football, but he's not. There's a feeling of emptiness. क्योंकि दुनिया में he's not making any change or impact.
This is very important to understand, right? All teachers, especially coachmen, they search for these few people, only 4 or 5 students who can really become champions. Like Gopi Chand, we'll talk about only 4 people, right? Sindhu, Saina Nehwal, Kashyap, and that's all. So 4 or 5 people, because that gives him the fulfillment. But there are thousands who are getting trained in that badminton academy. Thousands are coming and going. They pay money. Gopi Chand Academy has become very big in the center of city of Hyderabad today. He has a big academy, very well functioning, huge place. That business is very good. It gets paid. Everything is done. But I think his source of energy, not fulfillment, comes only from these 4 people, 4 or 5 people who have been at the world stage. Rest of the people are coming and going and coming and going. So that emptiness has to be addressed. Otherwise, you don't.
Very good point. जैसे I know many big traders जो iron ore का trading करते हैं, है ना? या vegetables का trading करते हैं. So they like what they do. They're making good money out of it. But वो just at the end of it, just profit है, यहाँ से खरीदा बेचा. And I have met some of them. They are looking for something to make an impact. जैसे they want to either now set up a steel plant या कुछ और ज्यादा करना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि वो they're just making money और कुछ नहीं है उसमें. तो जब तक हम impact नहीं करते हैं,
you will feel empty.
empty अंदर से. इसीलिए you will see कि जब बहुत जने हैं जो कि after they have sold their company, है ना, पहले वो business करेंगे, फिर 1000 करोड़ का कंपनी बेचेंगे, फिर एक यूनिवर्सिटी स्टार्ट करेंगे या कहीं मंदिर बनाएंगे. सुना है आपने ये सब? Rich people after they have become rich, वो कुछ they are desperate for attention कि दुनिया उनको कुछ समझे कि उन्होंने इम्पैक्ट किया. I will not name it, but there is a person who has several engineering colleges and all. हर महीने उसका फोन आता है कि प्लीज मेरे को हमको रैमन मैग्सेसे के लिए सोनम वांगचुक को बोल के हमको नॉमिनेट कर दो. You know, because they are looking for that impact, जो कि just उससे नहीं आता कि you have done something and earned money. and उसके स्कूल में बहुत बच्चे हैं, बट मे बी उसको लगता नहीं है कि उसने कुछ ग्रेट वैल्यू के लिए वो जिया है, या किसी हाई आइडियल के लिए जिया है, या उसका एम हाई एंड नोबल है. वैसे यूनिवर्सिटी सब स्टार्ट किया. आजकल इंडिया में तो इतने बच्चे हैं, कोई भी ऑर्डिनरी यूनिवर्सिटी विल मेक मनी इफ यू कैन गिव सर्टिफिकेट,
Education is business.
बट वो फुलफिलमेंट नहीं आता है. Okay, so this is how it is that we have to have something that makes an impact in the world, what we love doing, we have to be good at it, and we can be even paid for it. एक भी इसमें से छूट जाएगा तो life is not full, and that becomes our ikigai. तो जब हम ikigai करते हैं ना, हम वीकेंड नहीं रखेंगे कि जो हमको अच्छा लगता है वो दिन भर का काम ही इतना एनर्जी देगा, you know, and हम constantly उसमें अपना skills upgrade करते जाएंगे because we want to be in it, and दुनिया उससे बेनिफिट होगी जो भी हम कर रहे. And that is what will make it a fulfilling life and also an entrepreneurship that you will be proud of, you know. So you can take 5 minutes and combine all the 4. जो आपका list 1 और 2 से आया था passion, है ना, फिर list 2 और 3 से आया था mission, फिर list 3 और 4 से आया था vocation, और list 1 and 4 से आया था profession. अभी वो चारों को आप स्टडी करिए and see कि what is your ikigai.
And please don't think that ये एक बार से हो जाता है. You can keep reflecting on this, and do not, because these are very deep, and you have to be really very honest with yourself to really come with a list saying that do I really love doing this? Am I really good at it? Am I really sure that I'll get paid? Do I really know that the world is wanting this?
And जो ikigai होता है ना, वो एक मेटा आइडिया होता है. It's a very large, जैसे if I take Utkarsha's example, I'm not saying this should be your ikigai, but it could, for a person like her, the ikigai is not to make this or that. It could be a meta idea, like to make this world a more beautiful place. That is an ikigai. It is a large enough thing which is whole life you can pursue in it, you know. Or it could be to make people happy when they live in Ladakh, you know, to make people's lives comfortable. So ikigai is always a large meta idea. For instance, I've done this exercise many times, and my ikigai is actually to help everybody find their ikigai, and thereby to help human evolution. So I will never run out of business or place where I can do it, you know. Wherever I go, I can live my ikigai, right? It is independent of place, it is independent of, well, I don't need a university also to do it, right? It can be in my own house, it can be anywhere. So ikigai is such a meta idea that it gives you the freedom that you can live a fulfilling life anywhere. So when my son was born, for instance, I had to give up my career. Okay. Now, a lot of people का identity उनके career के साथ जुड़ा होता है. And I know of many women जो कि it's a very depressing state for them. But to help others in their ikigai, I have to constantly keep being a lifelong learner. है ना? So when I gave up the corporate job, I learned in that time Sanskrit, ballet, karate, because to help others evolve, you have to evolve. So it is independent. आपके पास आज job है नहीं है, So it is an in जो ये कह रहे थे inner locus है ना, your locus shifts inside कि दुनिया आपको फिर कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकती है when you're living your ikigai. जैसे जो मेरे कराटे टीचर हैं, वो चाहे जापान में हो चाहे कहीं भी जाए, ये विल उनको जस्ट एक जगह चाहिए और रूम भी नहीं चाहिए, वो पार्क में भी शुरू कर सकते हैं सिखाना. And because he loves it, very soon he will have 100 dreams. तो ऐसा इकिगाई होना चाहिए कि वो it is independent of where you are, what you do. You can still get up in the morning, pick up your bag and go in the search of your ikigai. It is not a profession. Profession is a subset of ikigai. It is not a vocation. ये सब चीजें limiting है. अगर आप profession में फंस के रह गए तो वो चला गया तो you will be clueless. But if you are following your ikigai, you can create new professions for yourself. You can create new vocations. You can create new things. You can be anywhere. Because skills आपके पास हैं. You are loving what you are doing. दुनिया को वो चाहिए. You can be paid for it. So it is actually liberation. आप कहीं से भी कभी भी जिंदगी शुरू कर सकते. कुछ आपको फेल नहीं कर सकते. You can always pick up your bags and move forward. क्योंकि आपके पास इतने resources हैं, inner resources खुद के. स्टीव जॉब्स ने जो कंपनी शुरू किया था, उसी में से उसको निकाल दिया गया. You know that? जब उसने उसको प्रोफेशनलाइज किया, बोर्ड बनाया, तो वो बोर्ड ने उसको निकाल दिया. His ikigai was to keep making better and better technology and all of that. And he went and founded another company. I forget the name of it. Huh?
Next. Next. So
हाँ,
it was
Next.
called Next.
Correct, Next. And that same company was again bought back by Apple. And he was not dependent on that office or that money or none of that.
I think he made during that time when he was remote from the company, he made 2-3 companies. All of them did well. Next was Pixar. Pixar was the other company which he made.
Yeah, Pixar.
Which was taken over by Disney later on.
So जितना हम large और ikigai रखेंगे, जो हम if we go back to the slide, that on the quality of your aim will depend the quality of your life. So the higher your aim, the more noble. Noble means you are working for the world. It is generous, it is high and wide. You will never run out of ideas. You will never run out of business. You will never run out of money. And all these worldly things will actually chase you. You can take the lives of all the great men. जिसको भी आज हम याद करते हैं, वो एक पर्पस के लिए जीते थे.
It is a cause which drives, not the career, not the materials. So the moment you reverse it, then you will see that you will really become a big leader and another.
And जो आप business problem define करोगे, जिस पे आप enterprise setup करोगे, that has to emerge from this larger aim of your life.
Good.
Any questions?
Lots of
Any
silence.
thoughts?
Silence. It has to sink. It has to sink deeply. I'm telling you, it's not for the word. It has to sink very deeply. It's very difficult to get to this kind of life, but once you hit it, it's a different thing. Then nothing will disturb you in your life. No material, no constraint, no this one, nothing will disturb you. You'll still keep pursuing the things. Very important. Please discover this. This is the most important thing that you have to do as an entrepreneur.
And there are only two ways you live in this world. Huh? There is no third way. One is you live as per what society asks you to do. That is the first. 90% of people live what society expects them to do. The second way is what you want to live. Okay. Great entrepreneurs, great leaders, great thinkers, great impact makers always follow the second way. It is what you want to do, and to know what you want to do, you have to find out who you are and what is your ikigai. That gives you the conviction, that gives you the,
Doesn't it require a lot of exploration?
yes, it does.
Yes.
Very good question. But
So in business language, they say that you have to do research, right? You have to research consumer needs. You have to research what is the production. You have to research what is the value chain, how it is the pricing, what are all those things, right? So that's only one part because it's only telling the external world. There is an exploration and research which you have to do within yourself, which is more key because that is the source of all energy. So that exploration has to be done, and it's very important that you keep doing that exploration because you can't do it in one moment. You do it over a period of time, in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, depending on how deeply you want to explore yourself.
How to like come back to it again and again? Like what? Because often you get like delusional around the world or something like that. So how to like get back to it and explore it more?
I think life throws you enough challenges, right? Enough challenges around you, and those are the moments when you have to reflect back, and that's the time when you actually get back to this always, right? If somebody you don't get business, you lose competition. Someday you're making losses. There are chaos in the organization. The employees who are saying that you're a leader, right? There's something that is written in the glass door these days, not some book about you that you are a person. So there are hundreds of reasons why you will get disturbed in the life. Every time you have to get back to this.
and this
That's the only
journey,
thing we'll need.
and so to take off from where KG said, there is an outer exploration, inner exploration. So just as we have this term Swadharma, two more terms, you must know it. आपको सम्राट पता है सम्राट कौन होता है? राजा है ना? Sam means everybody, Rat जो उसका leader हो, Samrat is the king. That is somebody who's explored the outer world and has mastered it. But every Samrat is first a Swarat. Swarat is master of yourself. Okay, because the decisions that you have to take as a leader, you cannot be swayed by, your fears or your prejudices या आपके जो thinking है. You have to first master yourself. And mastering yourself is finding that central value जो आप कभी भी negotiate नहीं करोगे. वो क्या है central value? कोई कह सकता है? किसी की भी लाइफ नहीं, अपनी लाइफ में
मल्टीपल वो हो सकते हैं. But doesn't it in outside world वो बहुत ही rigid माना जाता है कि आप flexible हो, क्योंकि शायद मेरे को ये बहुत बार सुनने को मिला है कि you are not flexible, you are very rigid with your values. तो is it wrong to be rigid with your values?
Not at all wrong at all. Because, for example, when you are rigid is when you actually get tested by the world maximum. Right? For example, in a very physical sense, एक soft thing है, very, very soft thing. Do you hit it hard to test its strength? You don't, right? But you find a strong metal. What do? हथौड़ा लेके आएंगे, हर चीज लेके आके उसके ऊपर मार के देखेंगे, अरे इसका strength कितना है, right? So values are always like that. If the people are actually hitting you hard and they're giving you a message saying that you are really very hard, it's good because they're testing your strength, right? If you're very soft and malleable, very easily this one, nobody is going to test you. So you're not going to explore yourself well. So in some ways, when you're getting tested and when a lot of people are actually saying that you're mad and you're pursuing it very hard, actually you should be happy because it's giving you a good test for your strength, internal strength.
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
I'm not sure when it makes sense, but I think our values can be that particular one, just example one. But I think manifestation can have different forms. Like it gets manifest in various forms.
Yes, it gets manifested in multiple forms. The
So
values will get manifested in multiple forms because every day you're applying it in different. Like, let's say, for example, I want to treat people equally is a value that you want to carry. It will manifest in my team management. It will manifest in the way I deal with, my own people at the house. In the way I deal with children, in the way I deal with a vegetable vendor, in the way I deal with a trader, in the way I deal with everybody, right? So it will manifest in multiple ways. And each of them will come back and test you. Will say sometimes you are very rigid. You are sometimes. Why do you always say that everybody is equal? Because there will be people who will not like, right? Who will not like everything. They'll say, no, I'm not equal to that person. You're trying to treat me like equal with that person. I'm actually superior to that. So they're questioning you. You are doing a mad pursuit. It's okay. But actually, it's a symbol of your strength. Actually, you're getting tested on your strength.
That's a whole new discussion. If we have time, we'll do it. Like, are values universal? Are they same for all? Are they personal? And if there are two different sets of values, then how do you know which is a higher value, right? Like one person may think aesthetics is more important. Another person may think utility is more important. Now, both are values. Then how do you negotiate that? So all of those discussions we'll keep for later. But as of today, the takeaway of today is that enterprise is not an end in itself. No? Enterprise is a means. It is a means for a happy and fulfilled life. And to have a happy and fulfilled life, material wealth is just one of the ingredients. But entrepreneurship has to be giving you more than just that. It has to make your life fulfilling. And therefore, it has to align with your purpose of life. Only then you will have a business which is in line with your values. You will do it for your entire life. You will never be tired. You will never give it up. And you will not be bothered about the world's, definition of your success. Your success will be your very own. So it is important to identify our core values. And no matter what we do, we get married or we do business or we relate, it has to be aligned with what is our deep value in life. If we keep, so what happens when you start violating your values is that पहली बार थोड़ा सा शायद खराब लगता है ना इधर सपोज हम कहीं चोरी कर रहे हैं तो थोड़ा खराब लगता है ना फर्स्ट टाइम जब हम वैल्यूज से दूर जाते हैं पर धीरे धीरे आप वैल्यू से दूर जाते जाते यू विल बी सो ऑपोजिट ऑफ योर लाइफ before you realize it and you will be a miserable person, and it is a fact of the matter, and that miserableness will result in your relationships, your health, your unhappiness and everything. So make entrepreneurship a subset of your life, that which enhances your life but it ends to an end. Okay,
This is the crux. What Gitanjali has summarized in the line is the crux. And if you are able to hit that, you will be a great entrepreneur. That much we can be very sure of. It is the name, fame, and money cannot drive entrepreneurship. It is a reverse. It is a great cause which can give you fulfillment at your own self, which can drive.
so I have not spoken about myself during the day, but I want to inform you that all this is from experience because I've been in HIAL for 5 years and it is completely something that I do pro bono. It's like a volunteering, you can say, or completely without any salary or anything. And over the last 5 years, we have raised close to 20 crore to make this infrastructure and done business session worth of 10 crore. So, जो लोग कहते हैं ना कि अगर अंदर डिजायर नहीं होगा पैसे कमाने का तो आप कैसे कमाओगे? That's not true. You know, when you are living for a cause which is bigger than yourself, you will be able to raise funds. You will be able to have a good income. It will come. I think all of us here, like even KG, I don't think his life is motivated by money. Because if he was not helping others incubate and he would have done it himself, he would have been a much bigger entrepreneur. But his ikigai is to help others become entrepreneurs. Okay, so we'll end it today here. We'll meet tomorrow at 9:30.
Before we end, thank you, Anjali and Rupanjali, for the lovely session. So we'll give you the schedule for the 4 days. Today we have missed out a couple of sessions. We were running late. The campus tour was scheduled for today as well. And
Also, it was snowing and
yeah,
not a good time.
And Gitanjali, while she's been very modest in saying that I'm also an entrepreneur, there was a session with her as well, which I call Hot Seat with a Successful Entrepreneur.